did it automatic for me. Hey, technology. God, Daisy. We got Christine Williams. Bam. Just as Shar. Bam. Cool gents. Bam. All right. So I don't know if we should play a little intermission music, but anyhow, we on CP time. You know how we do. Can y'all hear me? I wonder if y'all can hear me. Y'all should be able to hear me. So I think I got a special guest coming through. He said he's going to be coming a little late, but he's definitely going to be here. I feel this is probably the best way to get some kind of focus, I guess. I don't know. But let's see, we got Albert Bird up in here. Bam! What's up, fam? I'm thinking about, I don't know, might have some people, some millennials come in and out because there was so many millennials to choose from. But I didn't want to bring in the millennials that say the same things. I wanted to because I didn't want to make millennials a monolith. Okay, because there are some, good qualities about millennials that we don't say enough about. So I really want to put the flashlight on that the most, and at the same time talk about the things that, how can I say, mainly focus on the things that they can really drive home, that will just make them that much successful, right? So trying to get that conversation going, and these Negroes better show up or else. Yeah, but we got some people coming through here. Curlin, bam! You better believe it, Christine, right? You guys hit the likes on the way in. We got Just As Shar, known as Shar Willie. Somebody should do a Shar Willie theme song. Shar Willie! But who would do it? Like the Gap Band, or would it be Lil Jon? We got Black Wizard Ickmore up in here, right? Oh, yeah, the wrenches are people that I'm familiar with. Let me see. You cool. You're a cool dude, right? Yeah, the people that I'm familiar with until you start acting funny, and I gotta take it away. So you start acting weird, like nah, I gotta take it. So far, I haven't had to do that much to it. But what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to play a clip of one of our guests that's coming through so you can understand where this dude came from. So I'm just going to wait for enough people to come in. It's only going to be like maybe a minute or two. And then, we'll get started. So the reason why I don't put the actual YouTubers that oh, okay. Yeah, the reason why I didn't put that, I don't put the actual YouTubers that's supposed to be showing up because I'm not sure if they will. You know what I mean? Things happen, We got crew up in here too. Bam! What's up, fam? I hope you're doing well. So until, yeah, because I learned my lesson on that. I always put the YouTubers' names on the title and all that. All of a sudden they don't show up and I gotta keep changing my title, and I'm like, man, I don't have to go through that. Right. So yeah, I want to do it kind of early. Usually I do something around 4 or 5-ish, but I want to be able to at least leave some space enough for Prophet of Thought, known as Xavier. He's having Dr. Shaharizad Ali. He's going to be doing his around 9:30 Eastern time. Oh, we got Kenny Conjo up in here. Bam! What's up, fam? So we just waiting for people to come in so we can get started. Cause I noticed like when we get started, people miss out like some of the good parts or how we get how we get into it. So I got my questions all lined up. And I don't, matter of fact, I got some more in addition, but I know we not all these questions I have is there's way too much that I have to there's way too much I have to cover, you know. So anyhow, I'm gonna wait another 2 or 3 more minutes and then I'm gonna play the clip so you can understand who's coming through. And some of my guests should be coming through pretty soon as well. Unless they probably doing it. Man, if they doing hangouts already, I'm gonna be like, mother, what? No, okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna interact with you guys here. Oh, brother Rob is right. Brother Rob up in here. Bam! That's my partner in Gen Xer in crime, right there. For all you millennials out there, now you see there's a blank piece of paper right here, right? Okay. Um, what's going on is I can't think of anybody. We got Smitty up in here. Don't go away, Smitty. Bam! Yeah, Smitty is my standby. He's gonna come in and matter of fact, he's a cusp. He's in between Gen X, millennials and Zennials. So I think he considers himself a millennial. But I need you millennials to decide. Oh, DMV Nitro. Bam! What's going on, fam? We got S. Kirk Key up in here. Bam! All right. I need you guys to decide who should I draw that's a millennial to keep you guys focused. Who should I draw that's a millennial? Right? So give me some suggestions. I want you guys to be a part of this. 81 is you're a Gen Xer crew. You ain't gonna come over here and mess my panel up today. Sorry. You gotta push away the glass. We gotta flow, man. This is the kind of stuff that we want to be. Again, I'm just remind people. This is the kind of stuff we want to be able to have our younger generation listen to, so you can hear. This is more. I should have called this the generations from the horse's mouth. Right. So give me some suggestions. Give me some millennials that I should draw. You know what I mean? I don't want to just pop it on y'all. I want y'all to give me some stuff here. And don't feel bad if I don't pick it, but I just want to be able to do something. Yeah. Let me see. Courtney Saladin. Bam. What's up? What y'all know about the name Saladin? One day I'm gonna go over that story. Or some people say Saladin, right? Cardi B, Lizzo, on my channel. Heck no. On my channel, Ramil, but he full of it. Yeah, he's a hardliner. I don't want to say too many things bad about YouTubers and stuff, because that should be one of our codes, or our people in general. That's one of the codes that I really try to stick with. Sometimes I probably do a little slippage here and there because some people might take some of my criticism or observations as negative or a shot. But yeah, one day we're going to the Saladin. That's very important, man. And they try to make him white of all people. I'm like, come on now, Saladin ain't no white man. All right, so what I'm going to do now, so it's clip time. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this clip in to give you an idea who is going to be showing up, one of our special guests here. All right, let me see. I gotta share the screen. Let me make sure I get to the right one there. Where are you? Okay. And then I'm gonna let you know, give you a little background about this brother before he shows up. Right? You're Salahuddin. Yeah, there you go. And Richard the Lionhearted. They don't know about that. Richard the Lionhearted versus Saladin on the mountain in Jerusalem. They don't know about that, man. Okay. They said they tried to say Hannibal was. Yeah, exactly, man. You know, and they put their foot in their mouth with that because it showed that the Celts and the Spaniards were black when they were fighting with him against the Romans. They don't know about that. History Channel, they told themselves. All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pop this clip in. He said that I can play it. I'm like, man, I better not get whacked for this. I better not get whacked. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen. Share the screen. Share the screen. Right there. So it's a StreamYards. Okay, here we go. So the screen is being shared. All right, here we go. Hope y'all can hear it. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the sharing right there. Okay, what you guys think? Yes, the first guy that showed up, that's my student. He's coming. He's gonna be here pretty soon. He's gonna be part of the panel. Yeah, so those are millennials, y'all. Those are millennials. You know how people say, "What have you done?" and what have you. Crumping was a millennial thing. All right. Oh, we got poetic arts up in here. Bam! Assalamu alaikum, son. Right. We got yeah. So that's the thing that so what I'll do is I'll give you the whole background for this whole thing. Oh man. Okay. The whole background that I'm trying to establish is the conversation between the generations, because the thing that's very important is that when you have all these disagreements and things like that on these panels, and I'm quite sure I see some of these things uh, in in real life. We got Miss Les up in here. Bam! Stick around. Stick around. Uh, but you know, the thing that we're looking at is, you know, the conversation that's being had between the generations. There is a lot of missing information. You know, just because you disagree or even agree doesn't mean you have all the information in front of you, right? So that's the thing where I want to be able to try to at least put all of it on the table so you can have something to chew on, some kind of meat, right? And us as men, when we're having these discussions, whether it's, you know, putting things on the table and battling or whatever, you don't want it to be circular. You want it to be linear. You want it to be something that is absolute once you put this stuff out there. So that's what I'm trying to put together. I'm not really trying to do the whole kumbaya, let's hold hands and, you know, that no, it's more than that. Okay. Uh, but I think we have to start showing some example on order. You know, you got all your feelings out, your frustrations, and you punching and swinging in the air. But now, you know, what's next? Now, think about it. If you're doing all this, you know, drag and fighting and doing whatever, okay, you've done that. But now you're gonna have to start figuring out, okay, what is my? Oh, where's Poetic Hills at? I didn't see that. Where'd she go? There. Anyhow, well, I can't bam you, Poetic. Oh, there you go. Bam. All right. So after the whole struggle it has been taking place. Now you have to start figuring out, okay, now what do we do next? Because, all right, when you fight with the older folks, eventually you're going to have to walk away with that birthright. You're going to have to walk away with something that the person fought to get before you were born. You got to have something in your hand after the fight. You can't walk away empty handed, you know. And that's my thing, you know. And I know the sisters know what I'm talking about because they watch this kind of stuff. They watch the winners and they watch the losers, you know. And sometimes they get involved and sometimes they sit back and just wait patiently. The issue is, though, you know, when we're talking about black male leadership and responsibilities and things like that, Shango, bam! What's going on, fam? So we have all these things on the table. You know, you need practice to use these tools. You need practice to execute. I mean, execute and make decisions. You need all these things, right? So I want to be able to have that conversation after this live. Uh, we're going to get all three generations together. I don't. I'm just taking a chance, y'all. I don't know how effective it will be, but I'm just going to see how it turns out. I want to be able to get an ideal, you know, how it would turn out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to. Oh God. Okay, he'll be here in a second. All right. Cool. Okay. Says he's almost there. All right. Cool. Anyhow, so and we got Kaya or Kenya Pierre. Bam! What's going on, fam? So yeah, so that's what so the gentleman that I just showed on the video, he's coming through. But in the meantime, you guys, uh, we're gonna fight, we're gonna disagree, we might throw shots, we might even talk about people's family members, all these kind of things. But you gotta remember time passes by. And once that time passes by, you're going to have to figure out how to move forward effectively. You got to figure that out, you know. And I'm just going to keep it real, millennials. You don't know everything. Zennials, you don't know everything. And you know you don't know everything. And we shouldn't even have to tell you. You should know the difference between the boomers and the Xers that's full of crap and the ones that know what they're talking about. Arthur Ford, bam! What's going on, fam? I mean, you should know the difference. You know what I mean? You should know how to decipher that. You know, we went through it. Xers went through it. You know, we've been taken for a ride. Some of us were told that selling this rock is going to really get you point A to point B. We got Ghost up in here. Bam! What's going on, fam? Assalamu alaikum. We've been told that if you do things this way or whatever, it's going to help you. And sometimes that stuff never, I mean, most of the time that stuff never worked. But we also been told certain things that help you make money, help you get successful. And we tried that, and sometimes it worked as well, you know. Or sometimes, I mean, my point is that you should learn how to filter when people are telling you things, right? Let's see, the life and times of unconventional. Bam! What's going on, fam? So that's my whole thing is that we should be able to get all these. Let me read this one. Let's hope their estrogen doesn't get the best of them. They manage to be coherent enough for the rest of us to understand what, W2F they're saying. Okay, well, the whole ideal is to really put the mirror on each other because you got some of the older generation, they are full of crap. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Some of them are full of crap. All right. But I know me, I mean, I live long enough because it took me a minute, but I live long enough to know who knows their stuff and who doesn't. you know. And if the people that didn't know their stuff, I just say, okay, well, you done? All right, I'm about to go ahead and make me a sandwich, right? if you didn't, if they did know their stuff, man, I got pen and pad ready. I got the phone, I got the number on speed dial because I don't want to have the questions laid out for them. Because I guess my grandparents are the silent generation, right? So I don't want to have the questions laid out for them, and they 6 feet under. That's very, 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 very important, y'all. You know, and I'm gonna go back to see Boogie and BGS when they were talking on. I forgot what panel they were on, but you got to learn how to grow some thick skin. You know, it can't be the. I mean, we gotta cut down on some of the tit for tat. Okay, so when you hear these questions, you'll see where I'm getting at. Okay, you'll see where I'm trying to go with these kind of things because this is very important, man. Um, because we're always going in this whole thing about you know we have these single moms and all this kind of stuff, but I'm just going to keep it real for you guys. It's not mainly a single mom thing. A lot of these children are in group homes, and we're talking about in large numbers. So single moms and single dads are not around, right? So that's why I'm like, hey, man, we got to really, I mean, for that kind of stuff to really, that stuff has to be really addressed. Okay, so here's the thing, I guess I'll throw my comments here about the burning the community. Because I don't think y'all heard my take on it. The whole burning the community thing, right? I gotta Okay, I got a few more minutes. Yay. All right. The whole burning community thing. I don't know how that's possible. I don't even know what that's about. You know what I mean? Uh yeah, because I don't know, to be honest. Because that means you're gonna have to like when they say burn community, that means you got to physically throw some kerosene around or whatever. And it's like you're gonna literally just burn. So I think these just ideals, these are just concepts. And I think that people are just being frustrated and tired of the same stuff that they mainly can't control. And so that's another thing that needs to be discussed because not matter of fact, I'm kind of discussing this on this panel, you know, because that's where we start getting into the whole finger pointing thing. You know, who's at fault? Who started this? Who's responsible, right? So the going consensus, probably in the what 70s, early 80s, or the 80s, 90s period, straight up, it was the man's fault, right? And then the brothers pushed back when social media came about and said, no, it's not our fault. It's your ratchet, whatever, blah blah blah. So it started going back and forth, back and forth. Now during that back and forth, you have to start looking at the sequence of how this stuff occurred. You have to start figuring out like, okay, well, if I started this or if she started this, why? Right? You know, did you follow the dangling carrot? You know, were you it my whole thing is trying to get all this stuff without any narratives. You know what I mean? It's too many narratives being thrown out there instead of getting some real information. It's like somebody just want to win based on their talking points, and it just doesn't really get anywhere. And and like I said, people see me quiet or me, kind of like trying to pull more information out of them. But that's what you got to do because people got to get all this stuff off their chest. They got to get them off the chest, right? Okay, 3 more minutes, 3 more minutes, y'all, and we good. 3 more minutes. Yeah. So That's my whole thing, you guys, is to try to make sure that we have this discussion about millennials, right? And we got one of the three art beats up in here. Art of Fort.
Yeah.
You ready? You ready for this? You know, because we got a couple more people there on their way. So you ready?
I'll put it like this: for this panel, I'll be late for work.
So it seems like a lot of millennials have a lot to say there.
For this panel, I'll be late for work.
Okay. Yeah, this is kind of important, man. Oh, we got Max up in here. Bam! What's going on, Max? What's going on, good brother? That's Jersey Max. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys have to. I mean, these panels are designed so even if I disagree, I just can't say anything. I have to let you guys say what you got to say. If you guys disagree with each other, that's different. You know what I mean? You know, just like Dollar Will and BGS, that's different. So, but that's the thing that I'm trying to show is that millennials are not a monolith. Millennials have different opinions about each other as well.
Yeah, that's true. Because as a older millennial, because I was born in 1982, I know
Okay.
Charles, he'll say himself was an Xer, but 82 is like the oldest millennial you can be. There's not a lot of stuff that I agree with some of the younger millennials. And that's because that we're in that situation where we're at the end of X and the beginning of it. So when you start hearing some of these younger millennials talking, it's kind of like, dude, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, okay, I get what you're saying, but you know.
Yeah, because man, you didn't even get my questions. Good Lord, you're the only one that didn't get it. Damn it. Sorry about that. But I know you cleared
my questions. Your question. You sent questions.
Yeah, because I was sending questions out to all the millennials that I roll with. So.
Oh.
But I know you quick on the cuff. So this a lot of these questions are a lot that we discussed before anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, I'll flow with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's what I want people to understand, that without a clear conversation. He said, I am in but can't hear. I don't see him. Oh, dude, you gotta let me send him the link again. That's my fault. Usually when I invite people, I send them the
sub BMT.
Yeah, BMT's supposed to be up here too. What's going on with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually when I send the link, let me just click on the StreamYard. But yeah, let's see, click on the StreamYard. Click on the StreamYard. Now we're looking janky. Yeah. So I think one of the things that I got up to 41. Cool. I think that what we're gonna have to do is really probably, like, man, I don't know, later or now, is focus on the Generation Z. Because Generation Z, shout out to Tony Garrison.
Right.
They're eating popcorn and watching.
Oh, they are. What's up, Miss Les Knows?
Yeah, it's Miss Les. And okay,
where's my gameplay?
And what I'm going to do, you guys, since we got enough people here, I want people to how can I say? What I want people to understand, that we're going to do the female side. So we're going to have the female boomers, the female Gen Xers, and the female millennials.
I think what's going to be interesting about that is the female boomers and the female Gen Xers.
Yeah, it's going to be two different sides.
That's going to be real, because that's a big divide. Because from what I've seen, from what mothers have been saying to their Gen X daughters.
Yeah, so that's a big divide. Yeah, so I'm going to really ask them, pretty much ask almost the same questions. Now, the thing about the Gen X females on Black YouTube is too many of them. I start going down my list. I said, wow, it's a lot. So, for those that haven't been tapped on the shoulder, please do not take that offense. Like I said, I'm trying to select people that don't really have the same talking points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get people. I don't want to get the whole everybody in the solidarity. I want different things from different points from different people, because that gets boring. I mean, that's boring as hell. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I feel you, man. Yeah, man. I'm like, dude, give me some contrast. So and then I'm not sure if it's going to be worth doing a Generation Z, because the oldest ones out there is what, 23, 24? Isn't Smitty 24?
I think that's Z, isn't it?
Generation Z, right? He's 24, I believe. I think it's Z.
I think anything like 25 and under is Z.
Yeah. So, man, what's going on? He's having technical difficulties here.
Come on, y'all millennials, y'all should have this technology down pat now. Come on now.
You know what I mean? He said, let's see, Lifetime, Albert Bird up in here. Said, my mother born last year of the baby boomers is 64. Okay, that's right after JFK got killed.
And I will say this too, when it comes to millennials, that I've noticed that if your parents were boomers versus when your parents are Gen Xers, because you have different teachings. Because my parents were boomers. Now, when I meet a lot of millennials that parents were Gen Xers, we have very different, and I think that's because of the younger millennials. We have very different ideas on how life works.
Yeah.
And what we're willing to go through to get stuff done.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm looking. He said I count as a millennial. He said he's a millennial. He's the last year of the millennials. Isn't he born? Wasn't he born in what, 82 or 84?
Smitty says 23 and under is Xennials or Zoomers, or I guess.
Oh, they're called Zoomers now?
I thought they were Xennials or Z's.
Man,
or whatever.
I can't keep up with these names, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
I just say younger generation. I don't. But again, while you guys are out there, I'm waiting for suggestions on who I should draw that's, from the millennial generation. Because I want to keep that going, so you guys won't be yawning when you're looking at the images. Right? So, let's see. Who's the other one? So anyhow,
is anybody in the backstage besides?
Yeah, I don't see. It's only you, but he keeps saying he's here. Yeah, he keeps saying he's here. I'm like, where? Let me move this around. No, I don't see any.
Nobody in the back.
Yeah,
so how many people showed up? Just me?
Yeah, yours popped. Your square popped up, but his didn't.
Don't tell me I'm the only millennial that's brave enough to show up. Damn.
No, because we got another guy. I don't know if you remember the movie RIZE with a Z, the Crump Dancers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one that's coming. He's here, but I think he's trying to get his stuff together. And I guess when he show up, I'm gonna just go ahead and go with the questions. He put it right there. So he copied and pasted. Let me see. He said 1996 to present, Gen Z, Centennials, all these names. So whoever is born in 96 is a Gen Z.
1970. That's not right.
77 to
that's not right. 77.
Yeah, that's far. Yeah, it's probably 82 or something.
Yeah,
like that,
82s.
Right? And it's 65 to 76.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, that was a wrong cut and paste, copy and paste. We got 7 project up in here. Bam! What's going on, fam? Right there. Let's see. But anyhow, I'm gonna just go ahead and start popping these questions out here. And
All right, I'll try to answer the best I can.
and then see what you guys take on it. Because one monkey don't stop no show. Man, it's 3:40 almost out here.
6:30 over here.
He said draw Stephen Curry. Interesting. Yeah, Kobe's too old. No, Kobe's a millennial, isn't he? Yeah, Kobe's a millennial.
How old is
37 right now, 38.
Nah, he's older. Kobe's older than that.
He shouldn't be 40 right now.
He's in his 40s.
Really?
I think Kobe's Gen X. Hold on.
Yeah, look that up. I'm curious. But anyhow, all right, so we're going to get down to the questions here.
He was born in 1978, yeah.
Cole was born in 78?
Yeah.
Wow.
41 years old right now.
I never thought that. Wow. He said, Albert said Kobe's Gen Z. You are a nut, Al. Okay. All right, so the first question that I'm going to ask.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How was your? It's pretty much the same questions. Some of them are the same questions I asked the other generations. How was your interaction, or how was not just yours, but what you have witnessed with other LeBron? Okay, LeBron is a boomer. I mean, not a boomer, but a millennial.
Yeah.
How was your reaction? Or how was your interaction with older males?
Great, because I would say that my family is kind of a conundrum for what I found in the Black community, because I come from a very religious family. My grandfather was the head of a church. He built his own church. He was a brick layer. I had most of my family on my dad's side is intact, meaning that all of them are married. All of them have children. They're still together, for the most part. There's some that have not. On my mom's side, only 3 of my aunts are married out of the 4. And it's been great, because I've always looking at them as an example. So I've always learned from the older generation, even from it didn't matter if they're white, Black, Hispanic, or whatever. I always took towards the older generation and to get knowledge about stuff when it comes to me. Now, as far as the kids around my neighborhood, a little bit more dysfunctional. You had mostly kids around my neighborhood that, come from broken homes, and you start to see a little bit of the parents not really watching their kids like my mother and my dad watched us. And so they were just kind of not focused, especially the boys that I've seen. The boys were not focused because they were not pushed.
Now, would you say that this is easier this way, I guess. Would you say that basically, since they were products of single households, that has something to do with it?
Yeah, because they were not pushed or watched or taught anything, really. Like most of the kids, I'll just say this: their parents did not put the fear in them like my parents did to me and my brothers. Like, when we got home from school, we made sure that we got inside that house and we did not go outside. everybody else was running around doing whatever. Me and my brother, we knew of, 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds fucking in our neighborhood. They were just fucking each other. But we never delved into that world that they were doing into, because my parents put the fear in us. She said, you get your butt inside the house and you're gonna stay there, or else you're gonna get in trouble. Other parents within that neighborhood didn't really do that. The kids were allowed to do whatever.
Okay, well, BMT, welcome, sir. We got RJ up in here.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, BMT?
What's going on, guys?
We got Smitty here too.
Hey, piece of the panel.
Yes, sir.
I do apologize for being late. But it was all for naught. It was all for naught. I got signed on. I'm sponsored now by Google, so Google now pays me. So I guess that's something good. Of what I've always been blessed and waited for. So I'm definitely trying to get more men and to be sponsors. So I'm definitely going to shout you out, Art. I played one of your audios of me on your show, and I played different people's stuff, and they were like, "That's what y'all talk about?" I'm like, "This is what we talk about." So you'd be surprised what some people are curious about us. So I look to do quite an interesting talk and give y'all my earnest opinion about a lot of stuff. So.
Okay. So we're going to just go around with the questions here, because
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we finally got them here. Man. All right. I think my link was too old. And so the person that I showed you guys on the Crump video, or the Crump movie, this is him right here. This is Jason the Dragon Slayer Green. He's a millennial. So basically, he was probably one of the main guys that dedicated his time. Obviously, he doesn't look like he did. Oh, there he is, right there. That's him right there. That's one of my students here, y'all. So I'm grateful to have some good turnouts of some people that I had in my class. So he's one of them. So, but introduce yourself, Mr.
What's up to the family? You guys hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can everybody hear him?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He good.
Yeah, so I'm interested to share with you guys from my experiences. I want to hear about you guys. I think this is a good topic for this day and age, because you have a lot of people who are having trouble moving forward because they're placing blame and not dealing with what's been handed to them and making the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then we'll do another intro here. Mr. RJ, tell us who you are, fam.
Hey, peace to everyone, and brother Art, thanks for having me on here. Salute to everybody, BMT, and to the other brothers I may not be familiar with. Peace be upon you, brothers. Essentially, I am a student of information. I'm always looking to improve myself. I'm always in any facet, and I just continue to keep that thirst. I always stay hungry as it relates to information and being able to improve myself. Knowledge, physically, I'm back in the boxing gym, so we taking care of this other situation. And again, just that's something that I truly care about, and that's what we got going on. But I'm in financial services. For those who may not be aware of that, I don't like to be limited into a singular category like pro-black and all that good stuff. Though I identify with that, being more so a free thinker, being more so one who likes to chew the meat, spit out the bones, if you will, when I'm dealing with topics and when I'm consuming information. I read voraciously, so that's me in a nutshell. Proud father, but anyhow, aside from that, again, I want to thank you for having me on here, and I look forward to making to add my 2 cents in. Actually, got now I'm gonna send you a message here in a moment because it's 6:30 my time, 6:30 my time, which is 4:30 your time. I'll probably have to change gears, but I'll stick around for the majority of it. So thank you for the invite.
Well, thank you, fam. I appreciate it. And last but not least, the Smitty man.
Hey, peace to the panel. You said the youngest for last. For those who are wondering, I do consider myself a millennial. Consider myself kind of an old soul, kind of different millennial. I've been told that from my peers and older people. I am somebody that's curious and thirst for knowledge and things that I was never taught when I was in school. Um, I always try to listen to a lot of people that just have experience or have done things before me. I always want to know why things happen, and I think that there are a lot of millennials, especially younger millennials, that do want to know or reasons why. I think that there's just how to say that there's just resources that I think that we can circumvent or go around the elders sometimes, and sometimes in certain cases those are good things, and sometimes those are horrible things because you always need to get firsthand knowledge from the people that have done it before. And I'm here to shed more of a different light on millennials, more younger light, and also I'm just a regular 9 to 5 guy right now, still trying to chase his main ambitions. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. So I'm going to take a shot at millennials right now. Well, actually, no, it's an inadvertent shot. Now, the other two generation panels, everybody was like pretty much close to being on time. You guys, wow.
Hey, I didn't know I was gonna be up here because I just said fuck it, I'm gonna be late for work. Hey, you can say I was on time.
Yeah, you came through, but I'm like, wow.
I was
But
on
it's all
standby.
yeah, it's all good. I'm just messing with y'all. Okay, so the question that was going around was that we want to find out because I know some when I'm trying I don't want to get you guys to get too far into the personal thing on as far as how you interacted with men per se. I want you to pretty much give us the whole picture of your surroundings as well. What have you witnessed? Those kind of things based on your generation, based on your upbringings, your area. Like for example, if you saw a lot of them as mentors, you saw a lot of them as some people that were dangerous, no good. So I want to find out how was the millennials coming up? How was the interaction between, I guess, men in the neighborhood or just men in general in your spaces? Let's go with what do you want to say? Oh, he dropped. I was about to ask him. I guess he'll come back. He's driving, that's why. We'll go with BMT. Oh yeah, one more thing too. Keep your answers probably about by 2 minutes or so we
Yep.
can go around the room. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Right.
Okay. So when it comes to my interaction with men, it was I had a taste of all the sides. I had mentors. I had a father. I knew who he was. I had a stepfather. I knew who he was. I've seen good men and bad men. I've seen them all of different sides and variances, whether they were in the street, the pulpit, the school. So I can't say I didn't have. I can't say I didn't see the example. I'm never going to lie to y'all and say I never didn't see the example because I saw and I knew what the structure of a man can look like if he goes down this path versus go down the other path. And it was going to be up to me, and I at some point my dad was like, at some point you got to hold your own self accountable. I did everything on my part. I wasn't the best father, you know what I'm saying? He was a man from Vietnam. My stepdad and him, they both fell to doing drugs, different types of forms of abuse. And as time went on, there was always another man that was willing to teach. And always there was always some type of man who was willing to walk that path of, if you asked them the question, it's not like they wouldn't have taught you. It's not like they wouldn't have shown you. That's a narrative that we hear a lot, that nobody told me, nobody showed me. If you ask a black man something, a good 96% of the time, they'll actually stop and actually start instructing the younger man or start telling them. You ask black men in the barbershop about a law. All of them become paralegals. All of them all of a sudden start telling you all their stories and their experiences. And so much so to try to either keep you ahead of the game or keep you out of the game. And some would actually try to take you under them and put you in their world, while others would say, well, he just told you, you be your behind here. I don't want to catch you out in that street. So I can't say I didn't know better, because there were different amples of men for me to know the right way or the wrong way of how that of a black man should and shouldn't move when I was a child. So I had that benefit of a doubt. That, and also I had a mom where I'm not sure how some men were, but sometimes even mama had to step into the masculine role and had to show me some things. If my father or no man would step up, then that's when my mama had to step into that role and say, I got to play mama and daddy.
Okay, thank you, good brother. Because
Thank you.
we
I do
need
apologize.
we need
I
to
do
keep it
apologize.
at 2 minutes because we got 5
I'm
people.
gonna start talking about myself.
And we got a lot of questions. Like, you got to look at the questions. Reason why I think this is, I'm a teacher. The reason why people be rambling on these answers because they didn't read the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm messing with you, man. Anyhow, but thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Mr. Dragon, Jason, or Slayer. You got all these different names and transitions. Did you hear the question? Slayer, Dragon.
I think I hear you. Been towards my home. It's choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
10 minutes. So
you must
I'm
be
gonna
in
listen
Inglewood.
in. I don't know if the feedback is here.
You must be in Inglewood, brother. No, I'm messing with you. Yeah. Okay. How about now? You're further enough in the clear area. Okay, I'm gonna try it out.
I'm about
Or uh, should we come back to you?
actually gonna be me.
Okay, we'll come
So
back to you.
about 5. I never hear you whenever you jump on the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we'll move to. Okay, so we'll come back to you. So we move to RJ. So you heard the question, RJ.
I think he's on
RJ.
mute. I think he's on mute.
RJ. Ooh-wee. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Step in, Smitty. Come on. Show them how the younger millennials take over.
All right. Well, for me, I don't think my case was like too different. I think because I was mostly raised by my grandparents when I was really young. A combination between my grandparents and my mother. But I spent most of my youth with my grandparents. So for me, most of like the men that mentored me and taught me everything was like between my uncles and my grandfather and even my older cousins. Like for like I never had a problem with like male authority for the most part. Like especially with somebody telling me what to do. I have my negative aspects, but was mostly I understood how they were, and they said you must have been raised by somebody older, or you done this before. I always got that. So it's just that I think it's you gotta know what they want because what they say they mean it right away, and they assume that you will do like I remember I was talking to my aunt, and they said what's wrong with younger people. If you tell them something, you'll just do what you tell them. They won't put no extra work in or put any care in or anything like that. And I kind of could understand how they wanted me to do certain things with certain ways. Like I learned how to build houses when I was young. I learned how to put in water tanks, doing things that my grandmother made sure every time my grandfather did errands or my uncle did errands, she would tell me bring him with you because he needs to know how to do this. And that my negative experiences because I'm not gonna lie, yes, millennials don't know how to take criticism as well as other generations. And I think I worked on that when I was really younger. Like I used to cry when somebody would say something hurt my feelings. Now I could care less because that's just how they try to get at you and try to get their point across. Really. So for me, it was negative reinforcement, and I don't think that a lot of us are used to that. It's just criticizing. We always want the you doing a good job, which does work better on us. But I think we need to learn how to be more flexible in that way.
Okay.
That's what I really got to say.
Well, thank you, brother. RJ, are you there now?
Yeah, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you hear the question?
Talk to me.
Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't hear the question, Art.
So you're gonna be the obsidian of the panel tonight, huh?
No, man. It's unfortunately, like I said, I committed to it, and I'm still getting calls. So that's all it is, brother. So please forgive me. Charge it to the game, to the business, and not to my heart, brother.
It's all good.
I got
so mainly, how was the interaction between? Oh man, because you're in the middle, huh? You're a middle millennial, I think.
Yeah, 86.
Okay, so
well, I don't know if that's necessarily middle, but yeah, I was born in 86.
Okay, well, all right. So the thing that we're trying to find out is how was the interaction between, young men and older men, while you were growing up, and then just mainly in general.
Yeah,
it was all about
the elders. It was all about that. It was all about it was when I was coming up, I looked towards those guys because my uncles, my grandfather, all those guys were always saying something, whether it was something that one would deem inappropriate for a child to hear, or whether it was something that was like, hey, you know what, he's a young man, he needs to hear that. My both sides of my mom's side, they're more open, my dad's side more reserved side. But I was able to again, be a sponge around them and take in information. And I was heavily influenced by my uncles, like even with my dress code and the way I wear jewelry and things of that nature to this day, that all came from uncles and grandfathers. So the whole thing with having that, having those guys there was always a big thing with respect. And I know that's one of the things that we're going to go over here in a moment, but I'll hold off on really going into that. But the respect piece was again something that, when you say was demanded, it was like it was given. The disrespect was earned. So that was something that I always got from those guys, and also how to interact with people, how have a specific dress code, how to conduct yourself. They were big on us not sagging. I was around a lot of positive brothers, fortunately. And even the ones that weren't so positive, I still took good from it. It was still some good in what they were saying, though it was pretty, vulgar, if you will, for a child to be hearing. And when I play it back in my mind, I'm like, well, to Uncle's credit, it was the truth.
Okay, there was disregard one of the what do you call it when you see the questions in there? Because I have a Gen X question in there, so disregard that one.
Hey, can you send me the questions real quick because I never got them.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. All right. So the other question is, how were men taught to, what were men taught to do when it came to women and relationships as far as millennials? Arthur Fort?
I can go off what I've been taught and what I've seen. What I've been taught, especially from my mother and my father, was a relationship is 60-40. The man is the 60. And he is the head of the household. And he is the person that is going to make sure he's protecting the family. He is the one that is the final disciplinarian, because what my father and my mother agreement was that she takes care of the kids, and when the kids get out of hand, he comes in and squashes everything and nip in the bud. Now that's what I've been taught, being the provider for my family. Now, for what I've seen out here is that a lot of millennials were not taught that. And I'm saying this be for men and women. They were taught more to be individuals, because most of the millennial men, when I tell them that stuff, they say that I'm old school. Most of the millennial women that I say this to, that they don't adhere to or agree with things that I say, because for what I understand, I understand what I've been hearing from everybody is that they want to have a 50-50 relationship, and there's no situation where you can have a 50-50 relationship and it works, because there's always going to be someone who's going to take the lead.
Okay, very precise. Okay, BMT. BMT.
Yes, sir.
Did you get the question, or do I have
Yes, sir.
to?
No, actually, I was actually reading all the questions. So actually, I said, man, this is real professional. When it comes to that, and it's very simple. To be the head of the household is a stoic, relationship you're going to walk. I don't think a lot of young men, and I agree, it is a 60-40. Hell, some days it's going to be a 90-10. It's not a walk that every man or young man is going to want to walk, because it's a self-sacrificing job. Everybody want to be called a king, but nobody wants to go through what the king has to go through to be the king. And nobody cares if you shed tears. Nobody cares if you cry or you take some bruises, because you're the king. That's your job. So I watch my dad. I watch many men take their lumps and bruises by society, by the courts, and by the world. And when my time came up, I had to ask myself, do I really want that? Do I want to join that type of fellowship? And I answered the call. I said, yes, I do. I know what I'm in for. So that's why I understand that. I just don't think a lot of other young black men that say that I'm a man or I'm a black man, they truly understand what it means to be a man in a relationship or in the household. I don't think they get that. They just say it, but they don't understand the words and the ball and chain that comes with that. So,
Okay, thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brother RJ.
I'm right here, brother. Talk to me.
I have to repeat the question.
No, you don't have to repeat it. When it comes to men, we're taught, and when it comes down to women and relationships, here's the thing. Growing up, I mean, it's probably no secret here. We were taught, to treat a woman right. These women do this, these women do that. Now, that stuff that I was saying that my uncles were telling me, like my mom, like it was mainly my mom's brother. So if my mom told me something like, hey, treat them right, do this, put the coat on them, pay for this, yeah, whatever, open doors, pull out chairs, all that good stuff. While that's good, and that's excellent, the issue was there has to be some balance there. Okay, that I had to, later on in life I balanced it out, but initially the balance wasn't there. But we were all taught, hey, go above and beyond to take care of this lady. It wasn't until recent years where we were hearing more of this, where we're at now, this whole hookup culture stuff. And but growing up, no, it was all about, hey, treating her right. You got a lot of guys out here that aren't taking care of business. You got a lot of guys out here that are mistreating women. They're abusing power. They're not demonstrating leadership and manhood. So hey, if you want to demonstrate leadership and manhood, this is what you need to do. Unfortunately, later on, we discovered that there's a an extra bit to that formula that was left out, but we'll get into that.
Okay. Brother Smitty.
Damn. You know what? Being raised, like I said, I was raised to kind of court women, open the door, respect them, how you doing. Oh, don't ever let them walk on the outside of the street and everything. You know that real chivalry stuff. But once you get older, you realize no, that ain't working. That it just doesn't work in this situation because, like Art said, it's a hookup culture, and I hate to say it, lying and flashing, lying to these girls and flashing and telling what they want to hear works the most. And it's sad to say because it's all about persona and all about who are you and what you can do for me. And if they can get money about you, it's almost like a transaction. Sometimes, like even between a prostitute and a man, it's just about what you can get out, what you can get from each other in today's day and age. And for me, growing up, that flipped everything I learned on my head. So, like, I had to adjust on how I had to interact with women. Now, not with all women, not with all women that's going to work, but for the majority of women, a lot of these women, you can't really just come up and speak nice to and give them compliments and everything because they think you want something. Because now it's a relation. It's not a true relationship to build anything on. People say they want to build, but they don't know how to build with each other. In my opinion, so it's more of what we can get out each other and how we treat each other isn't the best way, in my opinion.
Okay. We're doing better, y'all. All right. 7 years ago. No. But
You ain't right for that.
now it's gonna be a little bit more of a, I don't know. It might be a little meat, but hopefully you guys have some class with it. Now, because this, like I said, I'm asking kind of similar to questions I'm asking other generations, but I had to kind of reword this one because now we're going further in time. So since you guys are younger, how did you become aware of the whole "I don't need a man" anthem? How did you become aware?
Yeah.
Let's go with Artifort.
Yeah.
How I became aware is TV and family. To tell you the truth, TV. I used to watch all the talk shows: Ricky Lake, Sally Jesse Raphael, hell, even Jerry Springer. And you see these narratives put out saying that how black men ain't shit, how black men are sorry, how black men are trash. And I've been hearing it all my life, and I said, dang, are we really that bad? And then when I come out into the world and I figure out that, wait a minute, sisters are just as fucked up as we are, And I've heard stories of my aunts on my mom's side who got with a guy and it didn't work out and they had a kid. They hid the child away from the father and they were saying all kinds of crap. And, you hear it all your life for so long. And with me, I say, okay, well, I'm gonna try to be that guy that is about some shit. And what you find out is that, like Smitty said, that's not reciprocated. You have to be a sort of an asshole in this day and age. You can't be like that nice gentleman, or else you get trampled on. You get used, and that's what I see now these days.
Okay. And Brother BMT, what you got for this question?
Simple. I watched my mom get the crap beat out of her. I watch a lot of women get stomped and beat. I watch a lot of these people give these narratives that the women just turned, but what caused a lot of these women to turn was you saw these children and these women say, yo, like, I get it that it's hard for you, but it's hard for me. So after a while, the resentment was like, yo, I don't want no part. It ain't just a white woman that was going through something. It was a lot of our black women. They were getting their behinds kicked by the men. And I guess the stoicism, the color purple narrative is, as a woman, y'all were strong, but see, nobody cared when grandma was getting behind beat. And We just thought that she was on her knees praying. No, she was like, yo, I wish that man would just stop putting his hands on me. So, you know, my mom found her own strength in her own voice when she said, I'm not doing this no more. No, I'm taking my kids and I'm going my own way. And in seeing that, I didn't see, and granted, yes, she did have some spiteful moments, but I can't say they weren't valid. I can't say every woman just hated or kept their child away for a reason. Some people, some things just didn't work. Some things, and it wasn't always the white man. It was just that, hey, I got with a person who just didn't appreciate me. I was with somebody, and as we watch these things, these women started getting a voice. They started telling their story, and I think the problem was people felt some type of way because they're like, "Why are you telling our family dirty secret? Why are you telling what actually happened in the black community? You're supposed to be a strong individual black person and just suffer it out. Hell with that. No, I'm telling you what's going on. Daddy wants shit. Mama wants shit. So, you know, now that these things are coming out and now that these things are being told, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? The young girls were like, nah, it ain't gonna be me. I ain't gonna be no sucker like you, mama. I'm gonna take my life in my own hands. And I watched the women do this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be in no narrative and just say that. So everybody, there's a reason for a lot of stuff. I'm done.
Okay. Brother RJ.
Yes, sir. Okay, as it relates to, you know, religion and my organizations, I was raised non-denominational Christian, Kojic, Church of God in Christ. And if anyone has never heard me tell this story, I'll tell it again. I always had questions growing up about all that stuff. Because as a hip-hop head, I used to listen to Wu-Tang. And I'm hearing them guys, Jizza had a track in 1995, you know, where he was like, you know, it was on the Liquid Swords album. And he was calling himself,
I believe I can hear you guys now.
He was calling himself the G.O.D. My mom heard it, threw the CD away. So when I got my allowance again, I rebought it and I just started playing that's back when them Walkman, those little CD players were popping. So I bought, stacked my little chips and went to Circuit City and bought that stuff again. So I had to like hide my hip hop collection, but I was learning, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've always been a sponge. And I'm like, man, why this dude calling himself God, man? So I started going, he was talking about how he ain't afraid to step on cracks and throw salt over his back and spit on brooms, right? You know what I mean? So I'm a kid, 1995, I'm 10 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I'm right here listening, excuse me, no, I was 9, about to be 10. I'm right here listening to that stuff, soaking up game. Come 3 years later, I end up getting involved in the 5%. You know what I mean? I end up, being assigned a name, you look in the mirror, you see G.O.D., all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? Memorizing the alphabet, the supreme math, all that good stuff. And so from there, that started my conscious journey, okay, in 1998. And so 3 years later. Now, the thing is, I always held on to that stuff. So by that time, I was like done. I was like, yo, I'm on this higher consciousness. This is where I'm at. I'm done with all that stuff that we were talking about over here in the church. I used to go to church and ask the pastor questions like in closed quarters, all that stuff. But, but then my Aalites, they were like, hey, listen, keep that Bible and pair it with this Quran. So that way you can have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? And so so that's what I did. So religion, particularly at that age, 12, a lot of things changed for me. I stopped eating swine. You know what I mean? I gave up beef, and I've been swine free and beef free since. And so to me it was a big deal. I had a different outlook on everything, and so I just kept on picking up more and more information. I was going back reading old books. I was going back I had already read like Miseducation of the Negro at that time. I'd already read the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, all this good stuff. Because like when I got to the 5%, they said, hey, here go 13 books you need to go read: Machiavelli, Pablo Coelho, all that good stuff.
RJ.
So yeah,
the questions weren't in order because that wasn't the question that I read. It was the whole I don't need a man. How were you aware of that? That was the question, not the religious question.
My sincerest apologies. Okay, that's cool. It's cool. Let me. I gotta sum it up now. So as far as you know what, the women growing up, pardon me, the women in my family, they didn't do that. The divorce wasn't a real big thing in my family, man. Even now, very few divorces occur on both sides of my family. So my parents are still together. So the whole "I don't need a man" narrative, I seen that on TV and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand I didn't need a man thing until I got in here and started dating. So that's how that affected me, and then I had to harm myself from there onward. So again, pardon me, brother Art. I'll mute
Oh,
up for now, but that's how that was with me when it came down to that. Pardon me. Go ahead.
oh, not a problem, man. We're like religion.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait a second, wait, that's not coming up yet.
Yeah, I knew he was reading the questions from the order. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He's trying to be the good student, you know. Okay, so we got Smitty. Uh, take the answer or take the question on this one, or the answer for this question. There you
All
go.
right. So, like for me, it's like everybody else. I grew up seeing it and hearing it from my mom. Like my mom would talk cash shit about my dad, and she was 10 years older. And I would ask, "Well, why'd you end up with him?" He said, "I don't know." And she would say, "I don't know what I was thinking at that point." And I always knew, like, oh, she still has feelings for my dad. So I always knew there was some BS to that. That my my dad ain't that. And just hear through society how worthless a lot of adult black men who we supposed to look up to. And that's if my dad ain't shit, then what does that make me? And a lot of women aren't thinking that deep into it. But that hurts your child. But when I would go to my grandparents' house, like my grandmother wouldn't say that my grandfather wasn't shit, but they would talk shit to each other, but that's because they were old though. But the more I digged into the reasons they got married, it's that like my grandmother probably wouldn't even got married to my granddad, but she had to do it because the opportunity wasn't there for her. Like she wanted to be an interior decorator, but she couldn't do it at the time. So my grandfather was fresh out the army or fresh about to join the army in boxing, doing special shows and everything, had high paid and everything. And she was qualified to be his wife, so that's why she married him. So when I looked at that, I'm like, dang, was it truly about love? It was, but it was also like a business proposition. So I'm looking not and go forward, just all these years and men ain't shit, men ain't this from especially the Tyler Perry movies. And I grew up at the hype of those when he coming up with all those 30 bad black women and all that. You start to internalize it until one day you see all that the ancient men getting all the women. So I'm like, wait, so should I actually try to be something and try to do good, or you just realize that women full of crap too? That we both in a way aren't really worth shit in the way that we treat each other. So now, as a young man, you growing up and you want the truth. You want the truth. Well, why do people act the way they do, and why are we considered the villains of society and everything? And you learn just how you fall in the manosphere. Somebody's gonna give you a direct answer. And especially if you talk to the OGs about it or the older folks, they're gonna wave you off because you ain't gonna understand until you get to a certain age. Like I was 13 when my grandfather died. That's when he told me, "Dad, our baby's 13. I can talk to him like a man and everything." So that's when I was supposed to get that wisdom and put in me from another man. I got it from my uncles for the most part. Not really my dad, because like my dad lived in Florida, so I ain't gonna lie, he doesn't really know how to be a dad per se. But it's just that you figure out a lot just from life experience and how women act and how what they say one thing doesn't really mean what they say doesn't really mean, or what they say doesn't really match their actions. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'll go. I'm done.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So we got brother Green, or what do you want us to call you, man? Because I know your government name and everything. So
Just call me Jason. That's fine.
okay, all right.
Art's so old.
Yeah, I'm hella old, man. And then we
Oh,
got Mr. Fantastic
so
up here as well. So thank you, Smitty, for coming through, because he said he's filling in for him. But yeah, so the thing is, how did you come aware? I mean, how did you become aware of the whole "I don't need a man," uh, growing up, or just in general, brother Jason? And Smitty,
well,
don't go
so
away.
that mindset just came from seeing alpha females, so to speak. Independent alpha females. My family was full of them, and it wasn't necessarily that they didn't need a man, but they just went through men kind of like, I don't know. They just went through them. It's like they would chew them up and spit them out. And I saw the majority of women in my family leading the family, taking charge, making decisions. They paid the bills. Men were staying with them, so they didn't stay with, I don't even think, none of the women in my family stayed with a male. They had males come stay with them. So these different males would come try to play the daddy role, but none of them were the fathers. So none of the fathers existed in my family. The fathers were not with their children. So I'm the first of 3 generations. So it was silently communicated. So when I saw that growing up, I'm just like, oh, I got to do something different, and it just was my mother instilled values and morals in me. So I experienced lazy, men who were not alphas. I experienced men who were using. Most of the women in my family were, some man was trying to use them, and I would have to punch up on them. So it was just, I didn't see a strong male figure for a long time. I didn't see it until my adulthood. Man. So it was silently communicated. So the way I, in a sense, lead my family, is total opposite of how I was raised. Not it, because I hated that, then I totally went against it.
Okay, I appreciate it, and thank you, Fly Credit. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, RJ, for the Cash App. Appreciate it. And we have Mr. Fantastic up in here. So did you hear the question?
The one you just asked the last brother. Appreciate you having me on, Art.
Thank you for coming, brother. I was getting on y'all millennials about coming on time and stuff.
Coming late.
Hey, I was in the gym, man. I had a good excuse, man. I was in the gym, man. I gotta keep from being fat and weak and all that stuff that they say I am.
I'm trying to get like you, Fantastic. I'm headed there right now, brother.
Yeah, I was there yesterday before I got on y'all panel yesterday. So it's all good. So the thing that we want to find out, for the millennials, how did you become aware of the whole "I don't need a man" anthem?
Well, mostly through media, music, and radio, movies, TV shows, that type stuff. I also saw it, a little bit, even though my mom didn't, she didn't promote it that way. But, my mom got divorced from my dad, and she was, that single mom that was taking care of everything on her own. So, it was, I'll say more like 80-20, 80% of media and 20% of what I said to myself. Even though my mom never ever in her life said she didn't need a man or, promoted that thing because, like, she's old school. So, but that's pretty much it. What was the queen of the bitter hurt black woman, Mary J. Blige. I grew up in her heyday. So, that's the hurt black woman whisperer. So,
That's
if you grow up listening to Mary J. Blige, man, and then you see then too what was
Tony Braxton.
Tony, 7 whole days, I'll never breathe again, all this shit. Yeah, man, and what's the movie? Waiting to Exhale. And waiting to Exhale. So yeah, man, that's major programming there, and with the slight simpery of Boys the Men and Tupac, and even though he was a black queen, crack fiend mama, y'all was a black queen mama, all those things, man. And like I said, as a kid, you don't really understand psychological programming and propaganda, but now we're in this, especially in the age of the red pill knowledge of, like, men understanding just how much you're psychologically influenced by all these outsources of media, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Growing up in the 90s, bro. 90s was the prime pickings of that. And the daytime sitcoms too. So yeah, all of those things, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out too deeply. I mean, because this probably not. I mean, this wasn't on the list of the questions, but you guys gave me an idea, and I hardly ever heard it asked on a panel. Because you guys mentioned the whole thing about black men not being, shit. Because that was sort of issued in as well. Actually, that was a follow up because I don't need a man. Now, growing up hearing this, hopefully y'all can be honest about it. Did you really believe that you weren't, or had some ideals that, man, maybe I'm not?
I mean,
Let's see. Let's go with I'm sorry, I should have did the order. Arthur Ford.
In my experience, I think for me, it was more so that I didn't think I wasn't shit, but I don't think I was valued enough.
Oh.
Because I kept hearing it, and I understand my what it is now when I was growing up, because like I think I was told this before, is that every child in my family plays sports except for me.
Wow.
I tried to go for band. I couldn't go in the band. I tried to do different stuff outside of school. I couldn't do that. I remember the time when I was going to get my physical and it was raining outside, and my mom told me, no, we're not going out there because I don't want to get my hair wet.
Damn.
Wow.
So it put a damper on my confidence level as a young man. And I didn't think, and me hearing all this black man ain't shit, all this stuff, teachers, especially white teachers, treating me differently, it put a damper on my confidence as a young man. And that has affected me up until about my 30s.
Damn.
So me hearing it repeatedly, day in and day out, and the actions of the parent, even though it may be not their intention to do it, but just because they're not conscious of it, will damper a young man's confidence level to the point where he becomes himself broken. And at some point, that man needs to look within himself and find that confidence in something that he's doing.
Wow. That's deep as hell, bro. Let me go with RJ because he got to get his sweat on. So, RJ.
Yeah, man. Wait, summer 2020, man. Y'all gonna see something else, man. Trust and believe.
Okay.
But get this. Again, you guys probably can already tell, but I had a very sheltered life, so I wasn't affected by that stuff growing up. It wasn't until I started dating when I started experiencing this, and I'm just blatantly asking women, I'm like, this is how you guys view us? And everyone would act like that wasn't on the table, or like they didn't know what I was talking about. And so that's when I became that's when I was confronted with black men not being shit. And again, I always heard, hey, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do. I thought there was enough of us already doing that. I just thought, okay, well, there's a sector of us that are not, and that's just what it was. But again, as once I entered adulthood and started, dating more, so I was late bloomer to a lot of things, so it was what it was. And once I started dating, it was like a reality check. It's like, man, it's all this is going on out here. Is it truly that bad? That's what brought me to this sector of YouTube as well. I've actually learned some things. A lot of things have been eye opening. I was naive to a lot of things. Again, just late in a lot of areas. Late, like I said, late bloomer. Wasn't exposed to a lot of things until later on, and Again, that just had to do with the upbringing. I didn't have. I'm gonna say this for the people that have already been exposed to it. You're fortunate that you were exposed to it at a young age, because I had to have a little chat with both parents once I became of age, because I was like, hey, why didn't you guys, inform us about this? I think this could have helped us, as we attempted to cope with, with dating and mating strategies, and how we go about understanding our natural counterpart. But that wasn't the case. Again, doing this whole being Dudley do right backfired often. Backfired often. What made me, it was easy for me to break away from a lot of that, because one thing I get from my old man is like he's always had a quick temper, and me having that in me, it was kind of always easy for me to, snap out a good guy once I realized what was going on. Once I became abreast to it. Hey, I'll tell you. I mean, honeys used to be able to run a little game, little slick stuff here and there. And again, I didn't know what was going on, like 19 and all that good stuff. But then once I became abreast, I was like, oh, okay, I see what it is. I see what it is. And then that's when this whole, oh man, don't. What's the purpose of being nice to him if this is what I gotta pay? If this is what I gotta deal with, I'll go ahead and do the other approach. And then when you do the other approach, you see some different results. So don't that's why they say don't be mad at me, be mad at the game, be mad at whoever constructed it that way. I would I think most of us men would prefer to just be nice to you and open up doors, pull out chairs, and look nice jacket over a puddle of water, all that old cute stuff, right? As opposed to having to like quote unquote check people and all this stuff that you find out later on in the game. That's the unfortunate part, and it's disappointing as well. So that's why I'm at with that. But yeah, brother Art, I'm about to get it in, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I thank you. I really hate that I won't be able to stick around for the rest of these questions, but I tell you what, this class is for an hour. If you guys are still on, man, I'll tune back in when I'm done.
Okay, I appreciate you for coming through, and I appreciate your cash out, brother. And
hey, it's all love, man. It's all love, man. You always been respectful, man. So I appreciate your energy, G. Take care.
Well, thank you.
And peace to the other brothers on the panel, man. Peace to the guys, man. Y'all be
Peace.
Thanks.
Shout out, bro.
Yes, sir. So we got who was it? Do we have BMT?
Yeah, I'm here.
BMT. Go ahead, brother. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. Well, 2 minutes. I mean, we go a little bit over, but try to.
I get you.
By 2 minutes because we got remember we got Prophet of Thoughts thing coming up at 9:30 Eastern.
Yeah. And the question was, when did I feel like black?
No, how did you feel when you when you heard black man in SHIT? Did it make you feel a certain way?
No, I knew it was true. There wasn't no lying what they said that. There wasn't no lying that, because I knew the heart of how black men move. Black men are like any other man. If they can maneuver for power and crush over the skulls over anybody, they will do it. They're no different. They're just like beasts. I know this, but I've sat and ate with those type of beasts. So it wasn't like it was a lie. It was just that it was just only being procreated that somebody conquered you and made you and tamed you. But after that, when you got your freedom, you went right back to doing what you did and subjugating anybody else under your power. So it wasn't like it was a lie, because I've been under that. I've been under that type of rule. So, I mean, I get it. That's why I didn't really care. I'm not like some of these other guys. I've carried my best friend on my back when he was shot on the basketball court. I've literally buried my child in a shoebox because a woman wanted to be with an ain't shit dude and got a backdoor abortion. I understand black people better than most of these men do, because I literally lived amongst them. I've never had a problem pulling the trigger on a black man, because he will pull the trigger on me. I'm not like these people. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to say I'm a saint. I understand it's a doggy dog world out here. So when they said black men ain't shit, that literally is the personification of how a lot of these men are. If they get the power to rule, they will do just like any other man, put you under their heels. So I'm not here for no bedtime story. I'm just telling you straightforward. It is what it is. Let's just stop the narrative that woe is me. I don't. That's just me. That's just me.
Okay. Mr. Fantastic, how did you feel when when you were hearing those narratives?
I don't know, man. It kind of hit home for me, because like my dad wasn't the greatest of a dad. you know, I actually saw his shortcomings and his failures as a man, and it actually shaped me to be just the opposite. So it's one of those turning a negative into a positive type thing. Every now and again, my mom would get mad. She'd say, "You acting like your dad," or so on and so forth. But that was a negative thing. But and if my own dad, what I came from is considered that, well, that like the brother, I forget who the first person that said it. It does affect your confidence. I was really, really a shy kid growing up. Not understanding as a kid as to why. But you get older and you start again understanding, how people work, psychology, and all those type things. A lot of it had to deal with, my upbringing and like my home life and things I, dealt with concerning my father, or the lack of him not being there. So early on, yeah, I mean, I was aware of it and I heard of it, but it's just something like I never really took it to heart because I was a real smart kid, and that was one of the things that I always hung my hat on. That's why to this day, my number one trigger is like someone like questioning or challenging my intelligence, because so I know I'm not the smartest motherfucker on the planet, but I'm usually one of the smartest people in the room. And
Mhm.
especially if I have someone that I know is not on the level, or someone that's trying to talk down on that one thing I've always had. That's something I take personal, and I make it a point to show them just how inequipped or ill-equipped they are in going down that road. But yeah, man, we all heard the ninjas ain't shit, like you said, growing up, and it was just again reinforced in media, man. Boys in the hood, into society, even the music and things like that. So like I said, you get this constant reinforcement of a black man, being a drug dealer, gangbanger, all these type things. And actually seeing it if you grow up in a poor neighborhood. Like I said, man, I grew up where I grew up at. I seen it. I seen the I remember the dudes with the 5.0s and them Jerry curls, bro, and them gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I seen it, and it's just a thing you have to be aware of, and just make sure, and like I did, to make that as your motivation, not to become one of those men.
Okay. And Brother Jason, did I already ask you already?
I'm sorry.
I said, did I ask you already?
The question, no.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Did it affect? So I wouldn't say because I was never directly told that, but in again, from the environment that I grew up, how certain things are communicated silently, so just through observation. I wouldn't say that it affected my confidence. It's hard for me to because I went to another place mentally. I just became someone else, and I know you remember. I was just a different breed, kind of crazy, kind of edgy. But at first, it created in me rage, because I was very full of rage, just because of kind of being stigmatized, and so because of that, I became the opposite. Like where you kind of just fight against the grain. So I kind of fought against the grain really hard, and then being in those type of environments, those alpha females, that surrounded with some other things that happened, it pushed me into a homosexual lifestyle with that hatred for just being around that hatred for black men and that hatred for male figures. So it took a while for me to break all of those kind of curses and just the upbringing. The environment was, there wasn't a father figure, so it was an environment dominated by alpha women, and so I ended up emulating some of those characteristics, and it took me down a crazy path until later in life, So that's the way I was affected. It didn't affect my confidence. It affected, I guess you could say, my sexuality for quite some time.
Man, we're gonna call this the deep panel. Brother Smitty.
For me, I never really thought of myself as an ain't shit dude or anything, all that, because I always did things to prove the opposite, and not on purpose necessarily, but I never really thought myself, okay, well, those guys are doing this, those are considered ain't shit dudes, so, but I'm not doing that, so I'm good. Then I realized society views all black men as one big nigga. So you can't escape. In fact, you can't escape what the other group of black men do, even if you're doing something positive. Like, so what you realize is that it's just something that you're just gonna have to accept until you can change it. I don't know. I don't think we have done that yet. And sometimes I think it's just how other people gotta change their own opinions on us, and especially our own women per se. And also to RJ, like I agree. I think most black men are late bloomers in a lot of things. I think because we're missing things, we're also like we're missing that father figure for some of us, and or just men, older men telling us and getting us guided in general. So we figured out later in life why things are the way they are, and sometimes, I think, or most of the time, that makes a pattern. Like, okay, well, I'm trying this. Well, shit, I'm just gonna be on my own. Fuck this. Y'all can think I ain't shit, but I'm gonna do what I need to do, and that makes that same cycle over and over. And that's it, really.
Wow. Man, that was one of those questions off the cuff because I was kind of curious because that comes up, and I can't, and for these ladies that's out there that's going to be on panels, they're going to have the same question. So don't worry, we're going to hear your side as well. And so, somebody sent me a message saying that if you can, you guys can you guys put your channels in the chat so they can support you.
Yeah, I don't got no channel yet, so.
YouTube channels? I don't have
Yeah.
one. Well, I do. Well, not YouTube channel. I don't have a channel on here.
Well, I have a
I need to
geek
create
channel.
one.
I have an Ibmore channel. Just depends on which one they want from me.
So put them all in there, dang it.
How do you put something? Because I can put something in the private chat, but I can't put anything on the live comment.
And then-
Is that
Well,
what I need to do?
you put it in there, and I copy and paste and put it in there for you.
Oh shit! I got 508
Okay.
subscribers.
Yeah. So I mean, this stuff is important, man. I know people have these different opinions about how we say things, but this is truth. These are things that are happening that people don't want to face. So, go ahead.
I just want to say something. I think there was a comment with Lee Knowles saying that millennials aren't too introspective. I highly disagree with that.
Okay, we'll
Because,
get
I'm
into
sorry.
that.
Yeah,
All right.
don't read the comments.
No,
Yeah,
it just came up. It ain't nothing against her or anything. But I
Right.
just disagree with
yeah, we'll get into
I
some of
don't read
those
comments.
because I think some of these questions kind of address
that. Okay.
what some people are thinking. So this is probably one of the last thing. Well, probably the end off as far as the sisters here. All right. Now, since we put all that stuff in, on the table, the reason I'm asking because I'm hearing a lot of millennials specifically say a lot of I'm sorry, at least on black YouTube, I hear a lot of millennials with strong positions about sisters.
Yeah.
In those, if there was the case, all right, if you were right, would you think this was a natural occurrence or is it by design on based on social norms? Art Fort.
Hold on. Am I okay? social norms, I think women are going to be women. And when you put a certain individual within an environment, then things are going to change. And right now, what you're seeing is that the environment has changed for women. And so women are going to be more of who they are naturally. And what I've seen is that there were a lot of restrictions on women about, their sexuality, about what they can do, where they can go, and all this other stuff. And so when you release those restrictions, women are more freed up to do these things. And what has happened is that because society as a whole cannot switch gears on a dime, I honestly think that men are still more traditional, more so than women, because women react more to the environment faster than men do.
Facts.
And so right now I'm hearing brothers, they want more traditional wives, but women don't want, they say they want traditional husbands, but they don't want to be a traditional wife. And this is where the disconnect is. And this is why I want to do a panel on my channel about, are men being too traditional in today's market?
Good subject.
Because I believe that men are being too traditional, because there's no way that you're going to get a 1950s woman today.
Oh,
Okay. BMT.
Yeah. Yes. Say the
You
question.
frying bacon or something?
No, I'm not frying anything. I'm literally sitting there playing PS4. So I mean, I'm
okay.
That's me. That's me cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. The question was, I'm sorry, I got thrown off. But you're asking about no. Actually, the reason why a lot of these people sound the same is because it's a YouTube algorithm. So pretty much everybody is on from different channels of the same type of channels, and it's leader A. It's off of two types of narratives. One, either you have guys who have experience.
Let's
And
bring you
actually,
back. Let's bring you back, BMT.
no, man, I was about to start cutting stuff. Okay, so what?
Bring you back. Based
Okay,
on the stuff that we heard, I keep it short. Based on the stuff that we've been hearing, from I always hear mostly from the younger generation. They go in hard in the paint with this one.
I don't know
But
how.
the whole thing is that, would you, if it was the case, if they were right about it, completely, right about it and dead on, would you say it was a natural occurrence, or would you say it was from societal norms?
Societal norms, most likely, what societal norms are what they want to see, what men and women want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. You can't say I don't want a marriage and I want to pump and dump, but then you say I want the 1950 barefoot pregnant woman. That's a contradictory. You can't say you want one, but then you want the other. That it doesn't work like that. So it's either you're gonna give one for the other. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have two different sets of, you're seeing what women are saying, like, yo, I don't want to fucking get married. He just wants to fuck. But then you also have men saying, I want a traditional wife, but I want to just fuck. I don't want to lose. I don't want to take a chance of losing stuff. So now it's pretty much desires over natural law. And because that's what's going on a lot of these panels and on a lot of these talking points, that's what you're seeing. So now the inexperienced buck or a little doe is literally, he imagines, well, this is what is reality for me. This is what reality is. This is what they want. And same thing for the females. They hear from the girls, like the girls in the street, like, oh shit, she's popping. She's not really popping. She just knows that if I spread my legs for Tyrone for $60, my bills get paid. He don't want me. He just wants the resources from me. Same thing for Tyrone, like even Jason said. He said he saw the alpha women in his family just use the men for what they want, but when they were done, out you go. So these things have been going on for quite a while. It's either take or be taken. And that's honestly what's going on now. They don't want no doggone unity. It's just get what you can and get the fuck out. It's a drive-through. That's honestly what we became. Drive-through orders. So that's honestly what's going on. I keep it short for y'all.
Okay, Mr. Fantastic.
Hey, say I'm trying to understand the question because you really said it was it generic or was it like natural or
Yeah, like the stuff that we know the normal stuff that we kind of hear on lately is
uh
it if it was true, because some people disagree, some people agree, and so on. If it
mhm.
was true, or if it was like dead on, would it be something that we consider from a natural occurrence, or would it be something based on societal norm?
Societal norms? Well, I think it's for the black community. I mean, I think it's natural. I mean, because again, we're just so different as far as being structured. The whole matriarchal setup versus the patriarchal. So even though it's dysfunctional from the black perspective, it's natural. Because again, like you've had men on here that said, it was, the matriarchy was so, effective that it affected its sexuality. And that's super hard, bro. That's wild. So if you're looking at it from that aspect of it, it's quite natural because, like I said, I mean, I can go back and, like I said, I can put myself in the place of most black men, and that's why you keep hearing all of these different men. I don't even think it's shout out to BMT. I know he says the algorithm, but man, I just did a thing on child support yesterday, and like I had men from all walks of life that said not only were they getting dragged through the mud as far as child support goes, they got caught up on some like the whole birth control hustle. Like we together and we supposed to be in a trust and loving relationship, and you stop taking the birth control without me knowing, and that's how you even had the kids from the first place. So I think, man,
Right.
what's happening is, unfortunately, so many black men are finding out, like, bro, we getting finessed. We from whether it's from your mother, whether it's from a woman that, and it's supposed to be from the women that you're supposed to actually have a bond with, love for, you care about, all those different things, right?
Hmm.
And I just think that's actually what it is because, like I said, man, I mean, most of us, grow up around each other, and your first little puppy love thing is some little pretty little black girl. Man, usually, I gotta do it. It's usually some little dark skinned girl.
But
And what does she
but
tell you? You're too dark or you're too black. Well, motherfucker, you darker than me. And then when I
mhm.
grow up and I'm like, well, I ain't trying to deal with no dark skinned bitches. Well, now you want to call me a colorist. No, you made me this way. You did it. So I just think, even though it may seem weird and dysfunctional, it's a level of natural occurrence when you're looking at it from the black community's perspective.
Bro, but then that would make me and you not natural because me and you seen the algorithm of how what is natural as you say it, but we went the opposite direction. So that literally means we went against the religion of our own destinies of what they want to say. Well, you should call the black woman God and Queen. We don't be calling them that damn shit. So
Hello?
that means
Can you
we
hear me?
go against that. Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me, fam?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I'm saying like
Oh, I
the
couldn't hear BMT. I just
oh,
switched over to my
you
phone.
can't hear me, fam?
Nah, cause my phone just switched over to my Wi-Fi, bro. So repeat what you said. I didn't hear you.
Okay, so like what I'm saying is like looking at your life, my life, and different brothers on this panel, then if what you're saying, and I get what you're getting at, but that would mean that we on this panel, we are not natural. That means we are atheists to our own biological training of a religion. If we are growing up in a matriarchal system, as a lot of them say, but then we somehow found a way to go against that same genetic nature of how they were trying to engineer us, then that means then we're not natural. That means we are biological. That means we are unique or genetic cancer.
The black community when it comes to America is not natural.
Natural, yeah.
Yeah, that was my whole point. Like we're the only, and it's not just even America. It's
Y'all
from like
stealing my points.
yeah. My bad, bro. My bad. Go ahead. My bad.
I
Go
just
go
want
ahead.
to, yeah. I was gonna say like the way we came here is unnatural. We were bred like for real. Like the way the black community was even formed was unnatural, and even with the way that America makes its laws are unnatural. If shit goes to hell, we're all gonna go be hunter and gatherers and rely on each other again. So so we're the canary in the coal mine in that unnatural state because remember whatever they done to society they try to do to us first. So when I look, is it natural? No, nothing that we do is natural. It's so unnatural that it became natural to us. So all the dysfunction and everything, like BMP said, we look at it. We are the outliers in the community. We try to look at things differently, try to be more objective, and always try to change other people's opinions. Say, well, why are we doing stuff like this? It's just that we are in a natural setting of how we've been set up in this country. So remember, we've been here first. Black men been here first. Our women are women just because they were given to us because they didn't have nowhere else to put them. But their loyalty isn't with us first. It was the other man. What man is in power, that's where your woman's loyalty is. And it's so having not us. I'm done.
Wow.
Man, I'm writing down so much damn shit that I'm like, yo, bro, I done made 5 shows off of this. And it's not bad because this is us just talking like as if we're just sitting in Starbucks, just having a conversation. So it's not like we're like attacking, but naturally when you put men of logic around each other, it's kind of a tranquil piece of damn, like this is how we talk. We're not always jumping each other's face, but we're looking for a solution to this algorithm of what we call. So that's why when I or some men, like some people will take it when Brother Fantastic was talking about child support yesterday. Some people thought, well, he was just angry or complaining. But that was the natural order of a black man saying, yo, no matter what I try to do, I'm always getting shafted by this system because I don't even have control of this system, nor my woman or my child. So that means you are fighting like you're waking up out of a system that was never built for you. It's like you were put into it as like Neo when he woke up in the system and he started freaking out like, oh snap, what the hell am I doing? Like that is what that's how I see some of the men. Like I don't get it. I get what the brothers are saying, but I also understand that there's like so many doggone things to this petition of what's going on.
Oh yeah, you were born to lose in this system. Like think about it. Dr. T.S.I. Johnson said any African American male in any form of media, he like 75, even 80% of the time, he loses. Killmonger. He represented us. He was badass and everything, but he lost.
So we're gonna bring it back to order.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
We'll say this for another time.
We want to make sure that everybody gets their second. This is why I did this panel for you guys. Matter of fact, believe it or not, I did this whole thing for the millennials. I didn't do it for the boomers. I didn't do it for the Xers. I did it for the millennials because the millennials are going to be running all kind of stuff while we sitting back watching.
We see them right there in the chat right now. Art, they're already typing all kind of stuff in there right now.
So that's what I'm doing. And the whole thing is I'm trying to make sure there's some clarity between the different generations so we can build. That's all I'm trying to do. So we didn't get to hear Brother Jason.
I think he's washing dishes or something.
No, I'm not.
He's at Benahana.
What's the I was trying to understand the question. I was just listening to the brother's comments, but
you guys, this doesn't apply to because we're really addressing things we hear on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he may not hear it.
Yeah,
because this is a lot of stuff for YouTube. We'll keep it fair.
Well, are you talking? Because you're speaking regarding because I don't follow like a lot of. I just hear a lot of stuff like just from the millennials that I deal with, as far as not having role models, and I see the effects of it. So I believe like the millennials now have been with the uprising of social media. I believe like the millennials are turning into attention whores, if I could use that term. Do things for likes, do things for views, look at me. And so a lot of people are like they're trying to become masters of things without substance. And it's just reproducing ignorance.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one of my questions too about social media. Now let's get into the generation part.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Now, I think I have this one here because I have so many. Now, when it comes to, let's see, apparently millennials have some issues with the older generations. You name it, they have it. What are what are some of the issues, and how did you get this information?
Oh, you want to go first, Art?
Art of Fort.
Okay.
Here we go.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with the older generation. So I may be the wrong person to say what the problem, because the way how I look at it is that your parents can only teach you what they know. Right? If my dad does not know nothing about credit, he's not going to be able to teach me about credit. If they can only teach me what they know, and if they teach me what they know, then they did their job. Now, when I go out here in the world and I learn something new, guess what? It's my job to teach the younger generation something that I know. It only becomes a problem if the older generation hides stuff from you. And from my experience in my life, the older generation of all the men that I respect and learn, which is pretty much most of all of them, never try to hide anything from me. And so they taught me everything I needed to know so that way I can succeed in life. So I'm not going to sit here and blame boomers. How come you didn't pass down certain knowledge or stuff to me? When I do the research, understand that half your boomers or less than half your boomers had a high school education, graduated high school. A lot of your boomer parents were poor and they just had to do what they could do to survive. And when I hear millennials complain about this, which is, I could say, my brother who complained about my father and us being poor, and I looked at him and I was like, listen, the man did what he needed to do to take care of us. We ate every day, we fed every day, our lights were on. He worked 2 jobs, he barely had any sleep, any rest. And you're complaining about this guy because you didn't live in a bigger house. And to me, that is very selfish of people of my generation criticizing boomers because the boomers can only work with what they had. And because they're not equivalent to their white counterparts. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic.
My bad, bro. My bad. I'm here. Oh man. My thing is this, man. When it comes to the older generation, they didn't talk to us, and I think it's partially because of the way they were raised. Because with the silent generation, it was like you was always your parents' child, and you can never ever challenge your parents. So whatever your parents did, you just you like the brother said, you're pretty much just grateful. You should be grateful for what I gave you. But when you get into the real world and you look at these other cultures, they don't handle that way. That's why the white dudes, it's always jokes. It's your fault, Dad. You get the talk back to your parents and all that shit like that. But you see, despite them talking back to their parents and things, why are they so much more successful than us? You see what I'm saying? And we never put it into perspective because it's just like that classic scene from the Cosby Show where I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. Well, if you really love me, like that, really, we gonna take it that far? you gonna kill me? Not. You're gonna train me and you're gonna teach me not to do that again, and the reasons why, and sit down and have an in-depth, loving talk with me, or even a stern talk. You're gonna kill me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So again, man, I just think we and that's why I say the millennials are the bridge between the gap, because we know, like, hey, man, maybe you didn't know, but ignorance isn't, as they say, ignorance isn't an excuse to break the law. And there's so many important things that just got left behind, man, that we had to learn as adults ourselves. And we're saying, hey, look, it stops with us. You know what I'm saying? They had these things, and hey man, it's a hole down there. As you keep going on that road, bro, it's a big ass hole down there. Or you go around that corner, bro, they killing everybody. Ain't nobody came back, you know. And for us, man, we just finally saying, bro, it starts with us. We gotta step up and teach these coming generations. They're like, hey man, you know, this is why I messed up. Don't make those same mistakes. You know, this is why I messed up. You know, if or I missed out on an opportunity. Had I did this, I would have been a lot better off. And especially from a financial aspect, man. I went look back and, bro, if you look back at like just the stock market, and there was one person that you could have even talked to about stock market wise for black people in the 80s, man, I remember getting the whole entire, like the whole Thundercats, every character, I remember getting the whole thing. Had my parents took money and used that money to invest in Mattel versus, you know what I'm saying, the money they took to buy me that set, or they actually could have afforded to do both, you know, bro, we'd be a whole lot better off. But too, at the same time, like, you know, black people just didn't know. But at the same time, man, you know, as a person, especially as a parent, you're supposed to make yourself the best possible person so your kids can benefit from it, and their kids and their kids. So that's what my hang up, man. It's just like, you know, not only did they drop the ball, but they never came back and apologized or even had the conversation with us to try and fix it from them dropping the ball. And that's where we changed it up at.
Okay. Take a deep breath, BMT.
I want to retort, but I know I can't. So
okay. I mean, well,
no, I'm not going to retort. We're gonna stay on track.
Okay, we'll stay on track, and then just hold your notes, and then we'll come back around with it.
Okay.
All right, my turn. I agree. Like the simple thing, like I told my daddy, I'm not going to be like you. I'm going to outbeat you. I'm going to be better than you. He like, nigga, you lost your damn mind. You going to take on the white man? I said, I'm going to do what you can do. See, and you hear it even now on these panels where some of them say, well, I had to sell drugs. I had to do this. I had to do that. I said, nigga, it never applied to you go to McDonald's and just go get a second job? Like, damn, like, was it that bad? Like, you can't tell me because I'm not like the world done changed that drastically. So I'm, like I said, I can't tell you because, again, I agree with the first brother. He said, listen, man, they had what they had. But you can't, and I see this a lot on a lot of these panels. They try to sun you or say, young man, how old are you? When they start aging you, doing that ageism stuff, I shut that shit down. I'm like, you ain't gonna take away from my experience of what I did because you didn't do what you needed to do. That means you are deflecting. And so that's why there is such an emphasis of anger sometimes, because it's like, yo, it's like when that black man or that black girl leave from the comfort of that wherever they came from, oh shit, I'm reading damn Dr. Seuss. These Negroes are reading Shakespeare and shit. Damn, I'm far behind. So it's like you see the gap in just how far behind you are in a lot. And when you start actually mixing, that's why people say, why are you leaving the black community? Why? Because you're afraid that I'm going to find out that that's as far as you can go. And you're worried that I can go further than you. And see, when you start understanding that, that's when you start actually walking down that path. So I get it. Like I told my dad, and he did cry when I said that to him. And he's a smart man, but he understood that I can't. It's a feeling when a parent knows that they can no longer, they have nothing left to show you because the child has outdone the master. So when the child outdoes the master, the child after a while says, yo, shit, you can't teach me shit anymore. I'm ass out. When you start becoming a black parent, yo, you saying, yo, bro, I mean, I'm thankful, mama or daddy, but this is my house. I got to do it my way. I got to live my life my way. And when we're starting to hear black young men are saying that, we're literally starting to hear us say, like, I'm going to outdo you. And some people feel a type of way about that. So that's why we understand with the experience versus knowledge, it is totally different. Experience and knowledge. Because you have the experience of what you think you know versus the knowledge of what is need to be known. And that's something that a lot of blacks don't understand. That's why they always think it's like that person. Because I'm old, I automatically am the go-to goat, or I'm the person that y'all have to. I'm the bridge gatekeeper into who you can sleep with, be with, eat, say, talk about, how you speak. But if you speak smart, you're white. If you read, you're white. It's like, damn, dude, are we back in the 1800s? Because I speak, articulate myself. Because in their mind, excellence is white. It's not just you being a smart black person. It just means you're white now. That's what that means when I hear people say, "Oh, you sound like a white boy." I'm saying, then what the hell was Malcolm X to y'all then? He must have been a white boy just in blackface to y'all. So let me just shut up from there. That's what I got to say so far.
Okay.
I'm being nice. I'm being nice.
Smitty.
Hey, shoot. See, this is where I really think that, like, I never really had hatred for the older generation. And there's a lot of millennials that looked at like that. And I think I'm at a part of the age range where most of millennial parents were either Xers or millennials them damn selves, to be honest. Because in a lot of them, and honestly, a lot of maybe maybe their grandparents were a lot of were Xers, but for me, I do get what Arda Fort was saying, that a lot of them were upset and weren't happy with what they had. But to be honest, that's mostly white people I hear that complain about that, in my opinion. But a lot of us are always wondering, where does the criticism come at, that we're trying to do it this way. But I think a lot of older generations get upset that we're not doing the way they did it, or they feel, and I'm going to say the word, they feel that we're not doing things the best to our ability, when it's a different generation and we do stuff a lot differently, and we always kind of try to do stuff our style. Like, I do think that there is a lot of backlash when you try to cut out of patterns that have been placed from you. Say, well, we're going to do things different. And I think sometimes you do intimidate a lot of older people with certain things that we do, on how with technology, how we interact. It's something out of other generations' comfort zone. Like my aunt says, like my aunt always tell me, she's a boomer. She's 63, about to be 64. She said, "Well, how come you guys don't go to the library?" I said, "There's really no need to do that as much anymore, because the library is your internet. You can order what you need to do. You can everything that you have is at your fingertips, and that makes a lot of them uncomfortable in certain situations. So I think that's what really hurts and scares a lot of older generations. But I'll cut it short for right there.
Okay, Mr. Dragon or Mr. Jason.
Question: Art, do you know how to use a card catalog?
A card catalog. You mean like in the library?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
That's how you know he's old.
Hey, I know the Dewey Decimal System. I know that shit.
Mr. Jason, brother Jason.
So I think the biggest issue is like one of the brothers was just saying, when you kind of go against the grain. So I believe, like, in the white community, and not just the white community, just various cultures that I've experienced, they support going outside of the box. They support, out the box thinking. They support those that dare to dream, And I think in our society, in our culture, like you say, we ridicule anybody that doesn't fit in, or that does not compromise with the majority. And what that ends up doing is it causes people just to settle and not realize their full potential. And I think what ends up happening is, like, you have people that, like, you may go after whatever it is you want to go off the box, and then people are ridiculing you. And then if you come back with some sort of fruit or some type of success, then people want to, affirm you and support you. And I experienced that, like, going into the industry, going into acting, doing movies, and just breaking all the norms, breaking all the statistics. Then the older generation wanted to support. And then even what I'm doing in ministry with the church, it's like, it's criticized until there's some great breakthrough. Then it's, I believe in you. So I believe the older generation does not want to do the work, but wants to take credit if their success, you know, and it produces like this. It just produces these weird feelings. So it's like, I don't believe in you, but if you do succeed, I want credit for your upbringing. And that's what I saw. That's what I've experienced. And so, you know, and then, you know, some of the unhealthy parenting, the unhealthy leadership that goes on. Like, you know, you can't challenge that generation because I think it's like an ego problem or a pride problem. And there's a difficulty in communication. So, you know, this generation knows how to communicate effectively. This generation just doesn't go for the okie doke. And it's like, it's this, a lot of them want credit for what they want credit for what they didn't support, and they want credit for work that they didn't do. They want honor. They want honor, but they are not leaving. A lot of them are not leaving an inheritance or a legacy.
So where do you, let me see, Art of Ford, where do you draw the line as far as respect your elders?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Where do I draw the line as far as respecting my elders? Sometimes you need to just shut up and listen to them. Because it's not the simple fact that they know everything. It's the simple fact that you can learn some mistakes that they've made. They may have some knowledge that you can use. They may be able to teach you how to persevere through something that you're going through. And it may be something that's 10 years down the road. I've always listened and asked my elders questions. And I listened and dissected everything they said to me. Some stuff I could use, some stuff I couldn't, but I had to just be quiet and listen and understand where they're coming from. I did not interrupt them. I did not curse at them. I did not belittle them in any kind of way. Because at some point, I'm going to be old. And do I want that to happen to me? And this is one of the issues that I have with millennials that is in my generation, is because if we're disrespecting the boomers or the Xers in a certain way that's very highly disrespectful, then what are we going to expect when we get older? People are not going to want to listen to us. People are going to blame us because we didn't pass down something to them, even though we did the best that we could. And that's all that's going to happen. If we want to set the example of respecting our elders, we need to set that example and let it be known, because this is being recorded. Okay. This is the first time this is going to be recorded in history.
Okay. Mr. Fantastic, when do you draw the line when it comes to respecting your elders?
When they just show themselves to be an old person and not a true elder. I think that's again, being that it's in the Black community, you're programmed to believe just because someone's older than you, they're an elder. And again, once you get a little older, you get and wiser, you understand that age does not automatically equal maturity or wisdom. So if you show yourself not to be a wise person, you can be old as Methuselah, but you know, I'm not gonna sit there and listen to you and your nonsense. I'm gonna try my best not to disrespect you, but once I know you're saying something that's, you know, unwise, or I'm able to see you see your life's work and the, you know, the lack of success and things like that, I'm not really gonna stick around to, you know, hear your counsel. I can look at you and look at the mistakes you made and learn from that. I can use it again. I think failures are some of the best people and some of the best teachers in life, because you can just look at the decisions they made, especially if they're repeat offenders, and just choose not to be like them. So for me, if you show yourself just to be an old person in age, I mean, that's where I draw the line, man.
Okay. BMT. I know he's gonna take a deep breath and throw it down.
Yeah. Leave me alone, Ghost. Go ahead.
You need a pitch pipe?
I'm good.
Where do you draw the line when it comes down to respecting your elders?
When they don't show me respect. Simple. When they don't show me respect. because I hear you, old man. You don't, when they stop invalidating my walk in life, then that's when the respect is gone. Because I honor and validate their walk of life. And I've heard and I've seen men who are, they want to be called OGs and all that stuff. Well, young nigga, you don't know goddamn shit. You don't know what the hell you. And I'm like, nigga, if what you say is so true, then why ain't you in that position of authority right now? If what you telling me is so true, well, things happen, then shut your ass up, because then you can't tell me nothing. Then you the dethroned king, and I'm the new king. And I mean, and again, it's like that's why some of these elders or some of these old, now I'm not gonna call them elder, but the elder, they respect the men that are in the congregation. They know, well, all I'm doing is advising. I'm not leading you. I'm just advising you. So what that means is they've already said, I did my fight. I'm stepping to the side and just, hey, now that you're in that position, this is what you can do, not what you should do. See, they're not trying to tell you, but you have to get the experience for yourself. See, that's what my granddaddy showed me. But then when you are trying to leave, and this is a problem with a lot of these old people in the black community, they don't want to give up their power. They can't do it anymore, or they didn't do it. Like so many people talk about the civil rights movement, but we already know only about 7% of y'all were actually doing the fighting.
Facts.
It wasn't all of y'all. We're not gonna lie about that. But then you want that respect, but you didn't think that 7% was actually gonna make it. But now they did make it. Now you all talking about it. Somehow y'all all were running down the damn battlefield. No. We saw you, we saw you, daddy. You was smoking crack. You right there in the basement talking hella shit at the barbershop, talking about the Lakers and the goddamn Pistons and stuff. You wasn't talking about no freedom fighting. You wasn't talking about no salvation. You wasn't talking about Jesus. And we know that you have another child out there other than us. So don't be trying to play elder now that you don't have that fangs anymore. So that's the problem. That's where I have a problem with elders, is when you're trying to force that type of respect, but you didn't earn it. I try to keep it at 2 minutes. I'm going back.
Hey, all right. Brother Jason.
You know you are a ghost.
So me, I like one of the brothers said, I know that I'm gonna be an elder one day, and I one of the major principles I live by, reaping what you sow. So I will always respect the elder. I'll give them respect to listen to them, or I'll give them respect to hear them. But I may not necessarily give them respect to listen as far as follow the advice, but I will, hear. I'll give the platform. But like one of the other brothers was saying, it's like when they, the character, when you don't give like the entitlement mindset, those that feel entitled, like you should respect me, and people, again, taking credit for things that they didn't do. Those people, I just know that they never, they end up actually trying to suffocate or trying to alter what it is that the millennials are called to do. So the newer generation, that they try to live vicariously through them or try to get credit and live off. And it is really, it's really just, it's a very ignorant mindset. They didn't do the work, they want the credit. And then those that did do the work, a lot of them are actually aren't even in position to teach. So we have the people that were looky-loos trying to teach, and the people that were actually have fruit are not in position to teach. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Can I just say this? With one person said, I didn't grow up around real men. I did say I grew up around all types of retrospect of men, good and bad. It's just that, and now that I'm older, we just call it out for what we see that it is. Like, what I'm saying? Like, Daddy, you wasn't the best singer on the church choir. Sit down. Nobody wants to hear that, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's just, we don't like to hear that truth. Everybody wasn't fighting. 93% of y'all weren't fighting. It was only 7% of y'all. That's a fact. We seen it. We read the tape and the documents and all the stuff. We know only 7% of y'all. So yeah, stop taking credit. Yeah, stop taking credit. Stop taking credit for everybody else's work.
Okay. Mitty.
Shit, that was funny. I ain't gonna lie. But like, man, most of the people that I listen to, like my aunts and uncles, they are boomers. But the fact is, like, most of y'all just want to tell some younger people what to do, and y'all never accomplish anything in your life. And you can also tell somebody what to do and tell them what not to do. I agree with Art of Ford on that. There's a lot of wisdom on somebody that failed and that wasn't successful, and give you the blueprint to what to avoid. But the thing is, when I stop listening to people, is when somebody phone going is when they are not trying to listen back or listen to your side of the story or listen of what you're going through today. Sometimes a lot of millennials just want to talk to somebody else, and a lot of I'll say extras too to a certain point, and I'll say a lot of boomers don't want to listen. Well, nah, you're doing this wrong. Nah, you're doing this wrong. Well, what was I supposed to do? And they always go, well, back in my day about some bullshit that has no relevance to what's happening. And people say, well, you just ain't listening. That's no relevance. No, you talk about two different situations at a certain point. We are willing to listen, but are you willing to listen back? That's all I got to say.
Man, this is powerful, man. I think it's powerful.
And there's no smoke. There's no disrespect. Yeah, I know you have wisdom to share. I know you have experiences, and believe it or not, a lot of millennials will listen. But do you know how to catch their ear? That's what some old people just don't know how to catch these millennials' ear. But that's it.
So let's bring it back to the highlights of millennials, because there were constant challenges as far as accomplishments on what millennials have done. So since you are millennials on the panel and you have seen a lot of things, some of you guys seen the whole, what, the 15-year spread? Is it generations 15 years, or was it 20? I don't know. But I would ask you this, a lot of older generations have plenty to say about millennials. Can you tell us some of the accomplishments that millennials have done that you can pass down to zennials? Let's see. Art of Fort.
I don't think you can, at this point in time, put forth a value of what they're going to be able to pass down, because most millennials that are in their 30s are just now getting their stride. Because
we should get more into that too.
Because I think because back in the boomers' day, when they were sitting at the bus stops and all that stuff, right? Those men, they were 19 and 20. They were doing phenomenal things that laid the groundwork for Gen Xers and stuff. Millennials haven't really done that, except for maybe you could say for gay rights, or that's pretty much it that they fought for. That you can see that was a major shift in our country.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna help y'all out, and Mr. Research not here. Don't you think that millennials had a lot to do with Obama being in office?
Yeah, we did that. That was in recorded history. That was the most they ever seen that many young people vote in history, bar none. They've never seen that many young people actually vote, because that was the first time we ever want to see something different. It's in history. You can look it up. That was the most ever. Yeah, we voted.
So, Mr. Fantastic. Okay, I think he'll come back.
Yo, what up? No, I'm back.
You old man.
I ain't that old.
You
damn it.
Go ahead, speak freely. Speak freely.
Stop
it. Be yourself, brother.
But nah, you said something that the accomplishments for millennials.
Yeah. What has millennials accomplished that they can that can pass down to zennials?
Oh man, entrepreneurship, bro. I've definitely seen the millennial be the I wouldn't say like the to take the biggest advantage of being entrepreneurs, man. As much as people rely on and use social media and things like this, I've seen a lot of brothers, turn this into on YouTube alone, turn this into major streams of revenue and things like this. Also, brothers being more knowledgeable as far as, you know, real estate and things like that also. So I would definitely say entrepreneurship and how to become your own boss would be probably one of the major points, if not the major point we could pass down to Zennials.
Okay. Brother Jason. Jason, he's probably eating the food that he was cooking. We'll come back to him. Brother Smitty.
Like Mr. Fantastic said, it's I will say this whole new era has brought new businesses, new ideas, and also new lifestyles. Like for real, a lot of older millennials talk about backpacking and being digital nomads. Like I haven't heard this from other generations and trying to find different lifestyles and different ways to live. This whole minimalist different lifestyle. We are trying to also take advantage of what our financial abilities. Like we're the part of the biggest penny pincher generation there is. We actually don't spend a lot of money and we're more financially disciplined. Shocking to a lot of people, but we're really financially disciplined because we don't have the bank like other generations. So we're teaching you how to be financially smart. There's so many young millennials I see that were in debt and doing their best way to get out of it, and that are actually taking advantage of all these programs that you are online and also all these online courses. And most of your teachers that's doing most of this are teaching older generations. So there's a lot of knowledge in and also I'll say music. I know y'all clown me about this, but just being your own business, man, and especially music, not taking the deals that are given to you, finding your own way to make stuff. I think more financially independent is what we are passing down to other generations. I'll stop there.
Okay. So we got a few more. I ain't gonna hold everybody hostage, but
no, I'll stay all night. Don't worry, I'm gonna be here all night.
I'm off. I'm here.
I got a lot of stuff to say.
Because we're gonna go into hip hop.
Don't worry. I knew that was coming, but no, give me when does it come to my turn so I can answer this question?
It's coming, brother. We're gonna throw a curveball at you. Okay. Now, do you feel that hip hop has took a dive, or do you think that it's just as good as the old school, and why?
Jason, the Dragon Slayer is back on.
Oh, well, let's go with let's have him take this one.
Okay, so the quality is not there. Definitely, it's not there like it was. There are some emerging people with some, with some substance to what they're saying, for the culture, but there's an oversaturation of just, I don't even know what to call it. It's just people looking for the stage who shouldn't be there. So there's no substance in what they're saying. There's no message. The quality has failed because now instead of people protecting the art of hip hop, instead of protecting the message that they're going to give to the culture, they're running to all kind of crazy opportunities and presenting music, images, and just things that are just crazy. Like the males have been effeminized. The things that men are wearing now, it's like, what is, you know what I mean? It's like, what happened? So I think hip hop has been overtaken by ignorance and femininity. That's yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Artist Ford.
Well, when my turn come up?
It's coming, brother. We will get you. You're always the middle guy.
All right, sorry, I had to take a phone call. What was the question again?
Okay. Would you say that hip hop has took a dive, or
hell yeah,
or do you think that is a lie?
Because no one tries anymore. You can't. There's no wordplay anymore. You don't have. I was just looking at Smack TV where they were having these rap battles, right? Looking at these guys rapping, and I look at how these guys rap at each other. I'm like, I know at least 5 dudes in my small fucking town that's better than everybody here. I know you used to watch rap battles on the side of the street where people just rhyming, like, you know, doing a little stuff. People were actually coming up with word flows and word plays. And another issue is that you don't hear a story anymore. You don't tell a story about a message in your raps, about something that's positive. Even like Biz Marquee about who she's just a friend. He told a story with that. If you want to go back old school, these guys actually took time in their craft. Everything else is now fast paced. I want to put out something within 5 minutes, and that's it. 5 minutes, 5 minute raps. And just because it has a catchy tune, you have I think Smitty said that one day, you have a good engineer. That's all you need. You're not in a studio hours upon hours working on your craft and making sure that record is tight.
Wow. Let's go with Fantastic.
Well, you can definitely give me the OK Boomer when it comes to his music, man.
Boomer. I knew he was gonna be a boomer. I knew he was gonna be a boomer.
Again, bro, I just can't, man. I've literally had my radio turned off for at least like the last 5 years, if not more. Trap beats have killed rap. The word finesse and bando and what's the new thing? The city girl shit or whatever it is going on. Yeah, man, it's just the females becoming more masculine than the men are. Like you said, the style and the fashion. Yeah, man, just no substance. Everybody's talking about the same thing, and all we're doing is we're hearing the same, bro. All these dudes, bro. The '90s was like the boom of everything. It's not even just music; it's movies too. Transformers, all these things, like they're living off of our childhood. So like when I hear these people come along and do the same thing off the beats, like the most popular songs are like think about when Big Sean had the song with Chris Brown. That was an old what was the group that Aaron Hall was in? That was an old guy beat. You know what I'm saying? The hottest songs are usually from 90s beats. You know, and things like that. I was just looking at a thing from where DJ Paul and Juicy J, when they did International Players Anthem with you know, before Pimp C died with UGK, whatever, that was an old recycled Project Pat beat, you know, that they used like, you know, 10, 15 years later or something crazy. So yeah, man, it's just like we're hearing, we've heard all this before, and it's really nothing new. And then these kids are dressing like Prince, and they don't know the hell Prince is. So yeah, man.
I quit, bro.
Okay, let's let
They're not dressing like Prince. They're dressing like they're about to get married.
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh God. Let's get BMT up in here. Let him out of his cage. Sick him.
Oh yeah. So music has gotten better. I like it. I'm fine with it the way it is.
For real?
Yep. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. It's literally it is what it is, because because the same way we're talking just like this, the same thing the boomers said about our music, and the same thing somebody said about their music and their music after that. It's literally repetition of repeating, because when before hip hop, there literally was jazz and folk music, and literally all it was rock, actually, just more with a stanza of a beat. If some of y'all are ever in art class or music class, they would
BMT,
tell you
just real quick, BMT.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Tell me the Good Golly Miss Molly beat you remember from the 90s. I'll wait.
Good Golly Miss Molly beat?
Yes, I'll wait.
Great googly moogly, that booty is juicy. And literally, that's literally the whole. We're gonna pretend like that wasn't.
That's 2000s. That was 2000.
But
that's 2010, bro.
Okay. So you want to say lollipop, lick it like a lollipop? Are we gonna pretend like
that's still millennial?
That's still millennial music, man.
That's us. That's our music. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's our music. Lick it like a lollipop. That literally is our music. Come on now. We're not gonna pretend like that. Come on now. We're not gonna pretend like that wasn't our music. Come on.
That don't mean it was good.
What? That was actually on the top. That was on 100. Oh no, we ain't gonna pretend like that song wasn't on every radio station. Come on now. Let's not stop. Let's not do that.
Yep.
Just because it's on every radio station.
Yeah.
Okay, better. Let's try another one. Nook, if you buck, No, if you buck, no, if you buck, oh no. I'm like, literally, that's all.
Again,
That is literally
no,
the whole.
give me the 60 song that came from though. That's what I'm saying.
Give you the 16 song.
No, the
Oh.
60s, like the song from the 60s or the 70s, from like all that engineering was new.
Oh no. I got you with that. On their CD, they actually took a song from, and I don't want to play, but I don't want copyrighted on art stuff. But they actually took a song from the Heartbeats and actually another song, a ballad song. I'm gonna make you purple, and then they have a whole song in the background of. They literally were taking old school music like we used to listen to when we had our little phase.
No, I don't
and
think
they were playing
asking BMT. I don't think that's what he's asking.
Is he asking like were they making new beats?
He's saying what is the equivalent?
Yeah.
So what is the equivalent
of the songs back then and now? Like because you're referencing things that's happening now that you're saying is just as good. And so he mentioned the 60s as far as that. What is so equal to to what's going on today versus back then?
What is so equal? Pretty much. Literally,
he said give you an example from the 60s.
No. Okay, so let's look at it like this. You're now having it where now a younger man, he literally does not have. He can literally be his own producer, his own artist, and his own writer, all in his own. Soulja Boy. So not just Soulja Boy. What's the boy with the red hair? Who had the red hair? Who did the Sprite commercial?
Lil Yachty.
And you know what? Now hold on. Please, hold on. Let's look at this because Joe Budden. Hold on. Joe Budden, and we know Joe Budden can rap. Mm-hmm. And Joe Budden got in your Lil Yachty's face, and he said, "Yo, you're not taking this serious. You're not." He said, "Yo, I went from eating ramen noodle overnight to literally traveling around the world to eating sushi with foreign models. Why are you mad that I'm just taking what you did and I'm actually contorting it to how I want to do it, and I'm feeding my family, I'm making a lifestyle out of it, and then not only that, now he's getting endorsement. He's not even rapping anymore. Now he's into clothing. So literally, we can't get mad if a younger brother, he doesn't do it like how they want him to do it, but he does it in his own kind of swagger and style, because isn't that how it should be done? Where you literally are taking how you want to do it and you do it your own way. I mean, if they want to have fun, if they learn to take their money and invest it, that's on some of them. Just like J. Cole told Little Perp, like, hey man, I get you having a good time, I get you having fun, but please make sure you take your money and please make sure you invest it. Now, see, and that was little J. Cole said, I can't get mad at him because when
he also told him don't play with my fucking name too.
No, okay, yeah, I get you with that. But okay, I get you with that. But let's pull out Kendrick Lamar. Are we all going to forget when he did that amazing body with doggone Big Sean and when he did Control? He literally called out every Negro in the goddamn game. And who outdid him that year? Nobody. Like, we're not gonna pretend like they weren't using clout. Like, clout is used by artists to actually get their name out. And then they say, "Yo, you gotta come at me better. You gotta come at me better with that." Did some of them were able to answer the call? Nope. Was some of them able to do it? Yup. Drake was able to do it. Big Sean, we're not gonna say he did it like him, but he did. But Drake has been at the top for a while now. Like, we can't lie about his sales.
I go next man.
But I'm just saying, like, I get that. Listen, we're getting older. So the music, how we
no credit to light skinned niggas.
Stop it. We're not going back in that world. We're not going back in that war. We already know. Push. And you see that. And what else? That's something that's very much prevalent. I'm glad you said that. Fantastic. Back then, a lot of colorism for black men did happen on the stage, where some brothers, they weren't getting that type of love like that because they were of a different complexion, or they didn't. If you wasn't appealing, or you wasn't one of those pretty Ricky type of boys, I hope to God you were good at the beat, so you had some sick bars, like you had some sick bars. But if you was a pretty boy, oh, you could get by. You gonna get by. You gonna get by. You didn't even have to. Even Tyrese called that shit out. He said, "Yo, why y'all fronting like y'all all writing? Y'all ain't. Y'all be calling me in the back. I be sitting there laughing and caking up." He said, "Everybody has a writer. Why all y'all pretend like y'all don't have writer? Some don't need it. Some do need writers. Somebody probably calling them art right now. Say, hey man, could you write me this ballad or this kind of chorus, please?"
Like this actually, most of Beyonce's songs were written by a doggone girl who was a freshman in college.
Or Nia.
Now she's a multi-millionaire, and nobody knows who that girl. And she's a millennial, and she's been writing most of Beyonce and Rihanna's songs. Nobody knows who that girl is. So it's now we're in an age now where a nobody can jump in the industry and be a somebody, and that pisses off some of the OGs or the older people, because now you don't have to go through the older people to get validation. Nah, fuck that. I don't have to go to you. I don't have to go to you to get permission. I can just go wherever I want and become popping online like Soulja Boy did. And then, hey, I can show up in the city, do a show, and leave with that money, and I don't have to share with nobody.
Let's unpack that for a minute before.
Go ahead.
Smitty,
I'm sweating now, eating chicken.
It's because when you just said that I don't need older people to validate or blah blah, well, not blah blah, but just yada yada. The thing that I'm not sure that we're hearing is that, would you agree that the people before you pretty much set the stage so that the younger people can come in and be greater? Or would you think that the older people, like your Aretha's to your Rakims, all of them, do you think they were just obsolete?
No, I think they had their place. In what they did. We're never going to take that from them. You know what I'm saying? Art, like, I can't take away if you went on stage and you literally did a doggone 32-minute guitar solo, which that would be amazing if you could. But I don't want it where somebody comes in your city and then they're like, okay, would you mind opening up for BMT? And you're like, hold up, you know who the hell I am? I'm Art. I'm motherfucking Art, the guy who did a 32-hour solo. Like, y'all gonna give me my respect. Okay, that was your time then. This is now. Like,
man, I wish I'd go deeper into this, because
I know, right?
I think you're bypassing the whole pay your dues thing.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
Look at that. Boomer shaming.
Let me go this. The whole pay your dues thing is getting out of date. You don't have to pay your dues no more. If you got the juice,
boomer shaming.
If you got the juice,
boomer shaming.
If you got the juice, it's your time now. Paying your dues is gone. I've been saying that for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying if I agree with it or disagree with it, but back to today's hip hop. All today's hip hop is 80s hair metal, the lowest point in rock and roll. It might bounce back and it might not. But I've been saying what BMT been saying, that all this doing is changing people's lives, and they're taking more advantage than a lot of these artists did when they signed these 360 deals. And they're taking more advantage that they don't need all these record labels to do half this stuff. That's all I've been saying. Now, to be honest, this shit right here isn't as deep and it's kind of trash. I just figured out what the box was by this one artist.
I'm just saying that's just the whole take of it. It's like some of these guys, they just get in, get what they need, and they get out and they disappear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that kind of answers the question as far as handing down something from the younger generation.
But that's been happening in hip hop all the time, though. That's been happening since the 80s and 90s. People been trying to take what they need from hip hop the whole era. But now, since people don't like what these millennials are doing, now they have a problem with it. There have been rappers that have been one hit wonders.
But the newer people in hip hop always paid dues, always gave respect to the people that did it before them, and always shouted them out once they won them awards.
Not always.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Wait, let me finish. I remember that there was old hip hop artists that don't like what y'all doing. This ain't even the millennial stuff. And they said, "Dang, where did this come from? We used to look up to y'all." Yeah, they were shouting them out, but they said we didn't fuck with y'all. Like from the early 80s to the early 90s, there wasn't always that piece. They didn't like what they were rapping about. Man, you rapping about destroying the community, doing this and that. You don't like that.
No, they were saying that about the younger millennials.
Yeah.
You talking about Pete Rock and Waka Flocka, right?
No, I remember Snoop Dogg did an interview talking about all the older hip hop artists saying they didn't mess with what they did.
Yeah,
they did not mess with.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But didn't he usher in gangster rap though?
No, actually, that was gangster rap came from Ice-T, and it came from Ice-T and doggone NWA. And to be fair, a lot of the hip hop artists didn't like what was going on with those guys, because guess what? Because guess what happened? The FBI started cracking down on the hip hop community. Hey, y'all can't be coming here doing this. They were breaking them up and they say, hey, y'all need to stop doing that. And they're like, hell no. We tell them what's going on in our streets and our native. If you don't like it, then don't fucking come around us. So you can't get mad at my bad. Go ahead, fam.
No, my bad. Well, not just that. Again, it put a chokehold on content as far as like material and subject matter in rap. No one wanted to hear De La Soul anymore. I remember De La Soul or a Tribe Called Quest saying that same thing. Q-Tip saying that. I think so Tribe Called Quest. I think it was Q-Tip. He was saying
Q-Tip,
how
he was actually pretty
he was like, man, when gangster rap came through, he was like, no one wanted to hear us anymore. No one gave a damn about, them, De La Soul, leaders of the new school, all of that fun stuff was pretty much out of the window when gangster rap came through. And then gangster rap on top of that was the first big influence when it came to fashion. When everybody was rocking the LA Kings and Starter and even remember the Ice Cube and the Biggie Strides commercials.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they was rapping. They had like bars set up for like malt liquor. So yeah, man, you went from and that was a big track because before it was just Billy D. Williams.
Can I say this before I get off though?
My bad.
RJ's back, but I just want to say, and also, why does the radio have to dictate what you listen to? I've been telling you this whole time. I don't even consider most music underground music. It's internet music. Like nobody listens to the radio no more. Like literally nobody. You can listen to whoever you want now. You have to search and find them. The catalog of music, especially hip hop, has expanded. Like Kid Cudi was the king of alternative hip hop. Now he's just a king of hip hop in general. But there are rappers that you never heard of that are doing sellout shows and bars and everything that are making more money than these sign artists. You don't have to listen to what's on the radio. I'm trying to tell y'all that.
Before you go, are we not going to forget that Kanye was one of the first college rappers and he was clean and everybody was like, oh man, get out of here. You ain't like no gangster. But see, how many people were going to Kanye shows? And mind you, he could do beats and also music, and he also was taking classicals. And we can't deny he's a musical genius where we got auto-tune and everything. But
it was Run DMC in college. It was Run DMC.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like he was that his main stoke was he was a college dropout. And that was
that's the thing. Dropout, brother.
He was a nerd.
You gotta look at the narratives, but man, we gotta really.
This gotta be another panel.
Yeah, that gotta be another panel. You can dropout means that you don't need college.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I appreciate this, y'all. We're gonna do a few more minutes and then go ahead and take care of it.
Hey, Art, if you want to drop me, go ahead.
Oh yeah, RJ's not here yet, so
okay.
When he gets here, then when he walks down the aisleway, like Willis Reed, right? Y'all know about Willis Reed?
Yes, we do.
Okay, just checking.
Boomer shaming again. I tell you, y'all some constantly boomer shaming, dude.
I'm not a boomer.
Boomer shaming, dude.
That's when the basketballs had laces on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know about
they're
that.
running
The medicine ball. All right. So now, since I guess you guys are gonna get actually no, I think this is a good relevant question. The language like bitches, hoes, and niggas roll off the tongues of Millennial Brothers.
I want to go first.
It rolls off the tongue. You say it with glee.
Oh, I know
right?
For that.
Does the Gen Xers have some responsibility for this? Let's go ahead with Art. Let's go with Art of 40 because he hasn't said anything in a while.
I blame the boomers.
Oh shit.
Okay.
And this is why I say I blame the boomers. Black exploitation films.
Oh, okay.
Because they became so popular that the Gen Xers was watching it. Rudy Ray Moore and all that crap. And so they put it into their hip hop. And that made it as big as it was because my father to this day has never said nigger. And my uncles have never said nigger. I know a lot of older folks has never said nigger. There's some, but I know a lot that have never said nigger compared to how we say it here in this generation. So I blame the boomers for making black exploitation films that inspired a lot of your Gen X raps, and it inspired the millennials to say it even more. So that's all I gotta say about it.
Okay. Brother BMT.
Why you always ask me this stuff? I think you do that purposely. And I get what he's saying, and that's true. But also, and Denzel actually backed it up. Denzel backed it up. He was like, just because they offer you that role, don't mean you got to accept that role. Because they asked him, do you want to play a criminal, or do you mind playing somebody in a dress? And he said, well, do you mind if you played somebody wearing black and white and walking into an oven? And why would you ask me that? Why would you ask me that? And I mean, mind you, the first time we ever saw Samuel Jackson, shout out to the brother, was what? He was a criminal. A lot of the roles of how I used to always see black men was either in comedy, a sidekick, the dead nigga, and within 5 minutes of a horror movie, or the thug, or some. It was always something of us playing a stereotype or a laid out role. It never was us actually in charge. I mean, unless you had some funkadelish Pootie Tang or some shit like that, Undercover Brother, we never really got a serious role. You know what I'm saying? Unless I can account. Shout out to my teacher. He's a white man. He showed me. He said, "Have y'all never saw Raisin in the Sun?" I said, "What the hell is that? I ain't watching no Raisin Men." And they were like, "No." And he literally got us the black and white film. Go watch it for yourself. He got us Raisin in the Sun. He had to go get permission for that. And then after that, he said, "Okay, have you ever seen Fences?" This is a white man having to go dig up to go find films to show us black kids that we never knew about, that type of imagery. You know what I'm saying? So it was very impactful because we were quiet. Like, we literally had to go get permission slips and all that stuff just to listen to the talk of these serious actors, and they're A-listers now. Some of them just don't get no kind of credit. But the major roles of some of these people, of a lot of black people, and I can't judge them, but you did have the power to accept that. And sometimes all roles and all money ain't good money. All roles ain't good roles. So when you accept that narrative, and other people, and mind you, Lupe Fiasco, but I know my time's almost up. Lupe Fiasco even did a song saying, woman good, bitch bad. And he said, when a child starts to see this, like how when I was young and I saw Boys in the Hood, Set It Off, New Jack City, in a sense, I said, yo, this must be normally what I mean, I look outside, niggas are actually enacting this shit. Riding doggone Hondas lower down, rolling out the window. If we saw flickering lights, everybody dropped on the ground. Even the dog knew to get down in the bush. Like, we just knew. Because the movies articulate, and all respect to John Singleton, they were only showing what we as people were doing in the roles that we wanted to show the world. So guess what? The other generation, some things you don't need to be putting out there, but other people believe that is our only logical brand of truth. Mind you, what were we saying? I'll be lucky if I make it to 21. That was in a song. And literally, black boys literally believed to just make it to 21 was the greatest thing ever. So if I'm 21, I'm automatically OG. I'm on top. Nigga, you only 21 years old. Nigga, now you can go buy cigarettes. Shut your ass up. Like that, but that's just literally, that's why I said some of this stuff got passed on to us where we just accepted it. Like, this is all I can do. Work at McDonald's, sell dope, and literally fuck this girl who has 3 babies already. Sorry, that's literally the narrative.
Man, that's a hard one to follow, Mr. Fantastic.
I try to take everything from that old boomer.
What's the question again? As far as what?
You know, I guess the terminology that was
nigga. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, man. It's just again, we grew up on that, man. I remember like the first time I heard somebody say that, I was in elementary school, and like again, it just all leads back to, like BMT said, it's the media, man. nigga this, nigga that, nigga there, nigga here. I mean, you know, nigga up, nigga down, left, right, nigga, right? So I just think, you know, for us, it's in our vocabulary. You know, it was a term of you know, just camaraderie. We didn't really at least when I was growing up, it was something only black people could say. Nowadays, everybody say it. You know, you turn on what's the thing, World Star Hip Hop, you see white boys say it, you see Asian kids say it, you see even the Africans, nigga, what's up, my nigga? You know, everybody says it, man. It's a worldwide thing. So again, man, I think, you know, it's something that pretty much became commercialized, that we, again, sadly, again, you know, the black community just gives a lot of things away for free, you know, and then we, you know, complain about how it's cultural appropriation and some other shit. But, you know, some group of people decided to, you know, make money off of it and, you know, pretty much give it away to the world. And then we complain about it when everybody starts using it like they're one of us.
Okay. And let me see. Smitty.
Yeah, honestly, like growing up, my family never really said that. Like they never really cursed in front of me. The worst I heard was shit. That was like probably. But when I went to high school, I mean, well, elementary school and everything, met those other little badass kids. That's when I started cussing and everything. And like I said, I wasn't allowed to listen to hip hop music because that was music growing up in my grandmother's house. And the worst thing that my mom would listen to was Mary J. Blige and Floetry and shit like that. So it wasn't around me until I got some friends that were outside of it, and that's when it came up. But that's when I realized, and they would criticize us like, "Oh, y'all shouldn't be cussing." But I listened to my dad's old Walkman and everything. Man, he listened to Too Short, oh shit, the group out of Miami. I forgot, Uncle Luke and everything. I'm like, NWA.
Say,
So I'm like, wait, so we're getting criticized what not to say, but Too Short is just as raunchy as anything there is today. But that's why I look at it like, so it just growing up, and especially when you watch certain comedies like in Hustle and Flow. Like I wasn't allowed to watch Hustle and Flow. I had to sneak and watch that. But when I went with my mom, she didn't care. So there's certain aspects of when you grow up and listening to these words. And also like Mr. Fantastic said, when they start like when you start hearing other cultures, I think that's where it backfired. Like I didn't know Filipinos call each other flips, but we're not supposed to call them that. But but our culture like has always been on public display that nigga, everybody starts saying nigga because everyone wants to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. So it's just nobody knows things that we just say something to each other and they laugh. Like but they don't know the pain behind it and everything. So it's something that we were ignorant, that we didn't realize the whole world is always watching us because we are always the people that move the culture. So if we realize that, I think it'll be a lot different. We'll still be calling niggas because I really doubt that we're gonna stop. But I think it'll be more secretive and it'll be a more of a punishment. But hearing these Mexican people say "What up, nigga," I'm looking at them like, "What the hell?" You know how many white people had a backhand for saying "nigga" growing up? So
okay.
it's just crazy, and I think that's our fault though on the language and everything. And we didn't really get on the language how we talk to our women. You ever try not to talk to a woman and not call her a bitch or anything like that? She'll look at you crazy. I hate to say it, they like that shit.
Dang.
Just try to talk to them proper. How you doing, ma'am? How you doing? Are you having a good way? What up, bitch? What's popping? It's different. They like that. It's weird when I was growing up and I figured that out. So I'll end there.
Okay. Now, I wish I had most of you guys on the panel because I'm gonna hit you guys hard with this one.
All right, go ahead, do it.
I'm already battling ghosts in the goddamn chat. So
we talking.
I'm already doing too damn stuff right now.
We going into the whole masculinity thing now.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
So
Lord.
you already got the whole afro and the whole, you know, turtlenecks and the bell bottoms and all that kind of stuff for the 70s. You know, to some respects in the 80s, a lot of stuff was pretty much baggy, you know, or you know, now I mean 80s and 90s pretty much 80s and 90s. I
We
mean,
go late '80s.
if you slap the what do you call it, a broad brush on it, it's pretty much baggy. Some are just more in early 80s is more crease, but it's still baggy. Now let's go into what defines masculinity for the millennials. Okay, skinny jeans, all these different jeans. How can you explain that,
Boomer talk.
please?
Boomer talk right here. Coming from
Go, Smitty.
coming from a Prince
No.
fan.
I'm going last on this one.
Oh, whoever.
Since I'm the oldest one on this panel.
How can y'all? How can you
I'll go.
explain that one?
I'll go. Whoever's fucking the most bitches. That's who's more manly in the story.
No, but the clothes. We're talking about the
Oh.
clothes stuff that there's
The
a lot
clothes.
of people say that clothes defines the masculinity for the
Yeah.
most part.
Wait,
right?
I'm not gonna let y'all go with everything was baggy. Those early 80s and late 70s, y'all were wearing some tight ass clothes. I'm not gonna let that go.
Is that this coming from a Prince fan of all people talking about skinny jeans? Like, come on now. Look,
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had that, but that wasn't the defining factor of the 70s because you had like the Richard Roundtrees and all these other type of people
oh,
too.
come on,
Yeah.
Zook suits.
You had the pimps and all that. But we're talking about, a larger part. We had this conversation Tuesday. We talking about
Yeah, I
a
know.
large part of the millennial bracket where those skinny jeans were like, you couldn't just shake them off. It took
Bruh.
matter of fact, it's still going on. How can you explain it?
It took a while to get there, and there's different. There's super skinny jeans where these rock and roll white boys wear where they can't breathe and they cutting off their circulation. Black people wear something different. They are a little bit baggy and they have like little ruffles. They're not skin tight. I'm trying to tell y'all that. And plus, that's the style that everybody has. Everything is getting tapered and getting less baggy. It went in stages. I know y'all don't believe me.
You stepped in
now,
it.
Now,
you better hope the Coliseum won't be fired up on Saturday. But go ahead, brother.
I ain't worried about y'all niggas. But now out with the piercings and all that. Like Tupac had a nose piercing, so that came back for a lot of guys. But some of the other piercings and everything,
it crosses generations, damn near our generation. But go ahead.
Yeah, but it's like with the clothing now. I'm trying to figure out most dudes, like your regular artists, they're not really wearing. The one I can think of is Young Thug and
oh man,
Lil Uzi. Those are the only two. Yeah, those are the only two artists I can really think that really be dressing all like really feminine. The only thing people got is the skinny jeans. Oh,
yeah, that's why I mentioned the skinny jeans because that was like in large numbers. It was huge. It wasn't like a little small section like the people that were wearing pimps clothes like silk and tight hip huggers with bell bottom. You had a small portion of that. You had different varieties in the 70s. You had somewhat varieties in the 80s. 90s it started to be more baggy, but I'm just saying because I'm a teacher and I'm looking at all you guys, dang, everybody got to wear this. So I'm just trying to figure out how would you be able to maintain your masculinity by wearing these jeans?
How you maintain it. I don't think your masculinity is in what pants that you wear or anything.
Oh, it is.
Well, let me go into the colors too that people have been choosing these last 15 years too. But go ahead.
What colors? They've been purple.
A lot of pink was wearing.
Yeah, pink. Pink came back around. Pink came back around.
I'm talking about the pants color, all that.
Pants. Who the hell be wearing pink skinny jeans besides Lil Wayne?
Brother.
Now, I don't be seeing that. I don't be seeing the pink skinny jeans. Those are the skaters. Those are those extreme skaters.
Yeah, because I used to joke with some of them, call them Pepto-Bismol pants. I used to have little jokes and stuff, but still, I'm looking sideways like.
No, I don't have the pink skinny jeans. No, that's I don't see that a lot. I don't see that. I don't see the purple. Those are the ones that are in punk rock and everything.
Okay.
So, is it my turn?
Yeah,
go ahead, BMT.
So because see, it's kind of hard just jumping on the skinny jeans when we already done pushed the mantle of. I remember seeing black men back on stage when we used to have the Source Awards, and everybody had their pants down, and you see a bunch of men walking around with their drawers in nut to butt, all singing and dancing, and I'm like, well, how are these the most hardcore dudes in the industry, and they all got their pants down, and like, yeah, my nigga, and I'm like, hold up, bro.
Yeah, the reason why they mention sagging because that's like That's a lot. That's a long. I mean, it's going through the Gen Xers and the.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I rather their pants be up than you have your pants down, and you know what I'm saying. Some of them, I'd be like, yo, I can't take my kids around y'all black people.
See, the only difference is that the sagging was in baggy clothes that you're talking about.
But
there's more sagging in skinny jeans that in your generation more.
Right. See, but that's what I was coming up during the era of the sagging pants, or like doggone. I would see dudes where doggone they look like your shirt was looking like almost a dress. You know what I'm saying? Well, pretty much it was a dress, and you know what I'm saying. And that was that. I'm talking about you seeing females like the Brat or whoever, and they singing and dancing, and you know, and they all got their pants down. I'm like, how are we? And they're like, yeah, like I remember my cousin when I went to school one time. I started high school, and he was like, "Yo, why you got your pants up?" I said, "Well, I don't want to have my pants down." And he's like, "Come on, come over here." And he pulled out my pants, like under my butt. He's like, all right, now you look fly. Now you look gangster. And I was like, what? This is what it. This is. He's like, yeah, man. Like you don't ever have it up there. You don't want to be look like no queer or no like you gay. You put on your pants. I'm like, wait, see, I pulled out my pants. And that's how y'all know yeah, man. So that's when I started perceiving that that's a man. If you have your pants down around other men, then that makes you more of a man, because then you know what I'm saying, then you know how hard I am. And we also do chest bumps and all that stuff. And my dad, when he came back down south, he was like, "What are y'all gay?" And I was like, "We ain't gay, Daddy. This is, we real out here." He said, "But why y'all got your shirts off and y'all all walking around with y'all pants down? Y'all got like, what's wrong with y'all?" And and they made a joke about that on the Boondocks called "Do the Homie."
Homies over.
Right,
home.
but then
about skinny jeans and sagging though.
But hold up now. But we got to look at it like you gotta ask, like, your masculinity is more so in the man makes the clothes or the suit. You know what I'm saying? You need to and that's the thing about it. Like, so if you're looking at it where, okay, I can wear my clothes because sexuality that's how a lot of people want to be. That's why they start seeing them wear blouses and stuff and the tops and stuff. Like, either you are dressing sharp or you being masculine. And then now we got the guys where they want to be pimps and they want to have game, but they're now like, well, I'm gonna dress sharp and I'm gonna mix it with wearing tight clothes. Because now Lil Wayne, shout out to him on that. He definitely did that. He had it set up where, I want to wear skinny jeans, be a rock star, because even Gucci Mane even had the song "Party Like a Rock Star."
Yeah.
Yep. And guess what? All of them started wearing. They all wanted to be rock stars. White, rock style lifestyle might not make it. And literally, that's when they all started taking off their shirts, wearing skinny pants, trying to be rock star. Black men trying to be rock stars, wearing tight clothes with no pants on, no drawers, and just going out there. Hell, I remember one dude came on the goddamn stage with a goddamn thong. Ain't nobody said shit. They just say, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, he a real nigga." I'm like, oh my god, this is where we at now. So
what was that?
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna pull it. I'll play it on BMT for y'all. Don't worry. I don't forget. Nigga history.
We gotta move it right along. But did everybody say their piece on this one?
All right.
Yes,
I need to say my piece.
Yeah, he got the last.
Okay. Yeah, I saved the best for last. And it was actually the Shop Boys, an Atlanta-based rap group that said "Party Like a Rock Star."
Oh, them?
Yeah. See how your hip hop knowledge is, sir.
I got you. Don't worry. I ain't gonna get you yet. I'll get you.
The franchise boys.
No, it's the Shop Boys. But as far as this clothes shit that's going on, I don't agree with skinny jeans and sagging. I don't care if they wear skinny jeans. I just don't agree with skinny jeans and sagging.
I don't sag, so I'm good.
But I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Your clothes do not define your masculinity to a certain extent. Your money does not define your masculinity to a certain extent. What truly ultimately defines your masculinity is your actions. Is how you react to certain situations, is how you react to things around you. You can have skinny jeans on and you can actually change your tire in the rain. It's not your skinny jeans that made you change that tire in the rain. It's your will and fortitude to change that tire in the rain. A willingness to do it.
A real man will get his woman to change his tire. He don't got to get out the car. How you like that? Flip that one on you.
Was that Chazala or something? Okay. Now, man, I wish there were more people on the panel about this one here. I think you guys would love this one.
Millennials can't stick it out. You know?
Hey,
we got women.
Check it out, because we're talking about history. We're going to history a little bit here. All right. So I want to hear from the millennials. I mean, the ones we have on the panel now. Okay, so let me preface it a little bit here. Now, you already heard the boomers' take on it, I think, and then you heard some of the boomers, what do you call it? Not the boomers, but the Gen Xers as well. Now I'm going to ask the millennials, because mainly the millennials pretty much says it's a lot. I'm hearing a lot of millennials say that history about Black folks' experience is not really that important today. If so, why? And if it is important, again, why? Who wants that one first?
Oh, give that to Fantastic. Give that to him. That was his debut.
Right here.
Damn.
He's taking care of some business.
Yeah, that's the one that you wanted Fantastic to answer.
Does he talk about history?
He says that shit don't matter, basically.
Oh, okay. I know. I don't remember him saying that. Okay.
That was his coming out debut. That's when everybody like, who the hell is this nigga?
He changed. I think he changed a little bit on that position. Him and Taz. They both talk. They both good on history now. If you notice.
Yeah.
They kick butt on history.
I think we're all kind of on the same page. All three of us.
Matter.
Yeah, it does.
So who said it? Who said it doesn't?
No, we all saying it does.
It to me, and I'm gonna be fair. I'm just gonna be fair. I guess I'll be that antithesis of that person. I do not care to keep talking about history. I don't care. It is already dead or drool to me, because what is the point of talking about it if you have not learned to do better or outdo it? That is why I told my dad I am far better than you. He felt it like, damn, you talking hella shit to me, young nigga. But I'm like, well, I can talk it. You know what I'm saying? I outdid you. You knew you took crack from the white man. You knew the nigga. Why someone the white man give you crack and you just take it and say, man, now I'm gonna make money and come up. So you knowingly did what you did. So you knew history. Ain't like you walk with the king, you walk with Malcolm, and you still sold crack. So nigga, you ain't shit. Now me, on the other hand, guess what? I'm not going to be like you, because what you telling me about that white man? Guess what? I understand. I know that white man ain't good, but I'm going to do like everybody else, and I'm going to use that white man. That white man uses him. He uses his own people to get a leg up. So telling me about history don't mean jack shit to me much more. Granted, I know about it, but I don't talk about it, because I'm like, what's the point of talking about it if you ain't learned jack shit from it? And I mean, some people say that's ignorant, BMT. Like, nigga, y'all keep talking about history on every other damn channel. Hell, y'all, it's not like y'all teachers. Y'all just talk about that shit, but y'all don't do nothing about it. So why are you talking about something you don't do? You don't hear no other race. They say they don't forget, but they don't keep talking about it. Y'all talk about it like somebody owes you shit or you're entitled to anything. You ain't entitled to jack shit. Ain't nobody gave my granddaddy shit. They didn't give him land. They didn't give him nothing. So why are you talking about something that you yourself haven't done? You're talking like you were out there with King. You talking like you were out there getting chased in the swamp and fighting a goddamn Confederate. So I'm like, damn, with all these goddamn freedom fighters, y'all think y'all would have bought your own land, which only costs about what? $3,500 for 1 acre for a small little patch. And y'all think y'all would have just gone off the grid and become Mormons or Negro Mormons or whatever the fuck y'all want to be. Hell, you got Hebrew Israelites. But y'all don't do that. You like that white man just like the rest of everybody else. So you ain't going nowhere. You remember it because you want somebody to feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you no more. I just don't. I'm sorry. Y'all can respond back to me.
I'll be go ahead, Smitty, because I need to take last on that one.
The history that we learned
in a day-to-day basis is just the base history. Like the reason why I follow people like BGS, Dr. Claude Anderson, Sister Shahrazad Ali, is because they know more in depth in history. They know. I want to know why do our people act a certain way and why do we do certain things. Learning why and how the slave trade happened will
Tell them how
show.
old you are, Smitty. Tell them how old you are.
I'm 24. I'm
Okay,
24.
cool. Continue.
So
Continue.
So when I want to learn, I need to know why my people act the same way and why we still repeat the same things we do. A lot of niggas don't care about history or anything. They have that phase in the past
Yeah, they're right.
that it doesn't really affect us, or even if it does affect us, we ain't gonna change. All right, that's good for y'all, but I need to know for myself so I know how to interact with y'all niggas, and maybe I can break the pattern somehow. That's just how it is. I just don't understand that this don't matter or and I'm not saying this for you, BMT. This is
No. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. I've been called everything under the sun on Black YouTube. Not that it's you know what I'm saying.
But this is just period for your own people, especially for people that have the most unique situation like us. We still don't really know shit about ourselves. We don't even know where we come from within this country. What's our family lineage? Maybe what part of the South we from. Doing that will make you feel at least whole to a certain extent. But you need to know the foundation of your people and why we were brought here and how this shit really affects us. And to be honest, a lot of us, I won't say about 85% of us really don't. We just know the basic shit, the civil rights shit, that they've been lynching, they've been hanging, all that shit. No, we need to learn the patterns of what part of Africa they came from. Why are the people from Africa separated us? Maybe how we came and how we were separated and how we were interacting with each other from the slave quarters. That will help us understand and maybe actually turn the shit around if we want to. Now, do we really want to? I don't know about that shit, but I don't know if that ought to work though.
Okay. Oh man, I sort of want to reply back to that. God damn, that's
all right. So my whole thing about history does matter because if you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it.
I think we already did that. We're already there.
So basically, just like Smitty, I wanted to know what really happened. And what I found may be mad, maybe pissed, but it made me have a better understanding about what happened, why we here at this particular point. And it makes me understand that it gave me some respect to the boomers in some regard, because I've actually on my channel put a video out against boomers versus millennials, and I put in there 3 videos. One video is about what boomers had to go through just to put food on the table for their families, where you had their families living on haystacks while their men were out in the fields working. Right. I just realized in North Carolina where I'm at, in Fayetteville, there was a big accident where there was a group of men that got killed because they were all on this truck trying to work in the field, and they were driving and got killed. There was a lot of stuff that the boomers had to deal with that a lot of millennials don't know, and this is the reason why there's such a big disconnect between the millennials, because they think that most millennials, from in my experience talking to them, think that a lot of this shit didn't really affect the boomers, and the boomers had all these advantages. A lot of your boomers didn't graduate high school. A lot of your boomers were dirt poor. And for us to get from that to where we are now and to shit on them just because we didn't take the time to understand what was going on during that time is very disingenuous, because that lets us know that we're not taking time to actually learn the history of our forefathers. And if we're not going to take the time to learn the history of our forefathers, then what are we doing here? We need them to have the knowledge of the past so that way we can respect it and to build upon it.
Okay.
And you guys are hearing this from millennials. This is why I want you guys on the panel, because I think people keep thinking that. I don't know, when people hear like 1 or 2 millennials, they say all millennials think this way or think another way.
Oh Lord!
But it's very important that people know that millennials are not a monolith. You got so many of them have different thoughts and different things. That was big. I was gonna go into the whole SYSBM thing, but that's gonna take a while.
Yeah. Wait. You know what? That's the thing about it. So I'm just gonna say it like that. If what y'all say about history and y'all doomed to repeat it, if you don't know history,
then why is it that from the questions that Art did ask, this is why I do what I do. Why did y'all say sometimes you gotta call a woman a bitch? Sometimes you gotta do this. Sometimes you gotta do
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you said. I didn't say you said that. I didn't say you said that.
Here, I said it.
I'm just saying, if you know that your people have been alternated and being seen, y'all said this is natural, but then y'all just
natural.
I didn't say that was natural.
no. But there was an agreement that hey, this is the way it is. Now I said social of validation and want to be accepted, just like conking your hair, straightening your hair, and all that stuff, because you socially want to be able to walk into a job and not have somebody fuck with you, because your nappy hair wasn't always going to be accepted. So if y'all, and that makes it more so, I'm not calling y'all hypocrite, but this is that's the thing about, like I told my father, where the hypocrisy comes in, because it's worse when you know the truth, but then you actually go by another narrative of the truth versus that you literally don't know, or you choose like, hey man, I already know all that shit, but I'm not going to keep bringing that up. Like it's like a preacher who's telling everybody get right church, but then you out there playing lottery and you talking about you got a side woman, but you ain't married. Like I'm like, nigga, don't be talking the Bible to me and you doing something totally different.
I think I understand. All right. Do you know anything about human psychology, human biology, human imperatives?
Yeah, I worked in interrogation for like a good few years, so I think I know a few things. Go ahead.
Okay, so you know all those things are just part of your human imperative. Men want to fuck as many bitches as they can.
No, they don't.
Yes, true. They do. Yes, they do.
Where did you see that? How do you explain?
You ever read the book The Lucifer Principle?
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
I asked you a question. Have you ever read the book The Lucifer Principle?
No.
Where it talks about human imperatives, when they find out how humans react.
Okay. Let me hit you with this. If you're looking off that book, then that would mean I will pull up a book on how black people are like monkeys. And then I'm like, did you read the book on how they say black people are monkeys? Or there was a military document saying that black people can't see in the dark, or the Negro can't swim, so that's why they made us cooks.
So you don't believe in human imperatives then?
No, I don't believe.
You don't believe humans act a certain way within a social structure.
No, because literally, then that's honestly like saying gay people are naturally a disease, or they're mentally sick, or gay men naturally have AIDS. Like, do you see, like, when you go off a certain, just because somebody puts it in a book, don't make it true. If I literally say in the book of BMT, the black man was the god of the universe, like, no, dog, it sounds nice. Just because you read from a book, don't mean it's true. They literally have a statistic saying that black men are naturally going to commit crimes before they turn 21. They used to have statistics on us that we were predators. That didn't make it true. That just means it was something written in a book, because that's their truth of what they speak. Am I lying? Am I lying?
See, this is the issue with a lot of millennials right here. I'm serious. This is the issue, because they want to believe what they feel.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I got a question. So no. I just actually here's the thing about it.
Okay, if we're gonna ask each other questions, if I ask a question, I deserve to have the respect.
All right, go ahead.
I have my questions asked.
You do deserve.
Go ahead, because I want to just let that be clear. Because when I asked the question, you did not answer my question. So we're going to ask questions. If I ask you a question, please give them the respect of having my questions answered.
Okay, so what's your question, sir? Good sir.
No, I'm gonna let you go first. Go ahead.
Okay, if you're saying that black men, or you're saying men naturally want to fuck, and literally there are people who are now saying they do not want to be sexually bothered, they rather just make their money, live their life, not have a family, and just be left alone. Mind you, this is going on now. Literally, people are saying, I don't want a family, I don't want kids, I want to live my life. Then literally that is debunking a book that is saying that people have to wait.
Have you ever looked at the study of the Mouse Utopia?
Go ahead. Tell me about it. No, I have not looked at the study of the Mouse Utopia.
The Mouse Utopia is a study done to see how a society reacts to an environment. And what they did was they gave people the environment, these mice, a perfect environment. And what they found is that these mice stopped reproducing slowly. The women became more violent. The male mice were more withdrawn and stopped having sex.
Okay.
And within this whole society, it killed itself.
And that was a perfect utopia, right?
And that was in a utopia where all their needs were met.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you look at the correlation between the birth rates and the Industrial Revolution, you see a stark decline within your society of less and less children because they become less important for your society. And now you get to the point where psychologically your mentality is switching. There's something in us biology, which they can't really explain, but there's something in us that's switching us to say that the men are staying away, which is where you got MGTOW and the red pill movement that is going on right now, and our women are becoming more masculine, right? And so this is why they're trying to reverse this by trying to get rid of these some of these child support law, well, not child support laws, but these abortion laws right now, because they in history, what you see is even in Rome, when they allowed gay couples to get together, what they did was they tried to reverse all this stuff because it was happening in their culture, and this is the reason why their society failed, because they were trying to get men to have kids with the women, because in their society it happened to them. This is all historical facts.
Okay, so I believe Prophet of Thought is going to be firing up to have an interview with Shahrazad Ali right about now. And man, I really appreciate this exchange and this dialogue and people showing up. I just really hope that people understand the functionalities of millennials instead of just assuming that millennials just don't know, I just don't want everybody to just paint everybody with a broad stroke, So the fact that you guys had opposing views or different views or some were the same, I just think that should be enough respect in itself. Man, like I'm gonna be real, some of the stuff that you guys said, that still gives me hope. That gives me hope that we have some kind of, future.
Well, you didn't ask that last question.
Yeah, that man's a fan. Every time he's around, he's doing stuff with the family.
No, I'm talking about the last question on this list.
All right, I'm back.
The SYSBM? Yeah.
No, is there any hope for the community to return to traditional family?
Yeah, that was going to lie into my SYSBM, but I think I need a fuller panel for that one.
Got
you. Okay. BMT is back.
Okay. Give us 1 minute because I gotta catch Prophet of Thought.
Okay. So with everything you guys are saying, and I mean, again, I'm gonna tell you right now, outside of YouTube, I brought some people onto my platform that have never been on social media. They never heard of some of the ideologies and the thinking process that people say on social media. And what's going on is, again, I told y'all, you guys, some things you literally can turn the page and literally say that you are not different. There's nothing special about you. What you think you're doing here, somebody has already have done. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, when what the brother was saying when he was telling me about the studies, and I'm not taking away, I'm glad that he's looking at these studies. But again, these studies don't define you. You define your own narrative of your own self. Black men saying they're just now leaving, that's not true. There's been black men that have been leaving outside of the country, coming back. I was watching a film. This brother went to the Philippines, had a whole family. And he was back in the U.S. when the time he came back. And then as he got old, before he died, he told all of us right there in the VA, I have another family. What? When? We didn't think you have kids or a family. Yeah, I had a family over there in the Philippines. I sent them letters and everything and money. That's SYBSM. Black men have been, mind you, before. Who's the brother that went to the first black man that went to the Arctic? And he's in I believe SKC talked about him. He was a black man that went all the way up there, traveled, explored, and did everything. There have been a lot of brothers. George Washington Carver, he got castrated.
You named all the SYSB men.
Oh yeah. But mind you, they didn't know what this stuff was. They didn't know what this stuff was.
Yeah, they just know what they were doing.
Exactly. They were just doing it. They were just like, well, they were just doing things. Like I even told y'all, like before I even knew what SYSBN was, before I even had a wife and a family, all that stuff, I literally already had traveled the world 8 times and lived outside the country for a while.
So like, before you expand it, brother, we gotta get the profit, man. We gotta show him.
I'm going to X. I'm going to X.
I put his channel in the chat. You know, I mean, this is something we got to support each other too, man.
Yeah,
as brothers, man. I don't care if you just go to somebody's channel and put something in their comments, put some likes. You got to support each other. Of course, we support the sisters. We're gonna always support the sisters, but we got to really put a little push on the brothers being on top and running things so he can do things for his woman. You know,
I just want to say one quick thing, real quick. All right. Black people are not a monolith. Black people are in Black AOS people are in a society. We're still human beings. We're still affected by our environment. Just because Black people act a certain way, there's a reason for it. Just like if white people act a certain way, there's a reason for it. We're all human beings and we react to our environment. We always have. We always will. And we always move in a certain way because of our environment.
Okay. And Brother BMT, your parting shots?
Well, I agree. We're not monolithic. I'm like, it's not bad to read up on a book or article or listen to a lecture, but you know what I'm saying, that's just a tool. That's just a tool. That's not the gospel definitive truth. That's just a tool. Like you're in a different timeline, you're in a different experience. So it's either that tool is now to be used or it's not meant to be used, you know, or it's meant to just be saved for another day. So that's the thing about it. I wish Black men and women will learn. Like just because somebody said it 20 years ago doesn't mean that's you're going to be for you. That just means it's something that was that for that time. You know what I'm saying? You have the right to make your difference of your life or your opinion. So that's when hopefully Black people start figuring that out. That's
all right. Thank you, brother. And Smitty.
Yes, I don't have no channel yet, but I'm working on one. I'm hopefully, if I get my shit together, it'd be about traveling and not just having sex with all these beautiful women around the world.
Invest.
Yeah, and investing. But yes, I think we are not a monolith, and I think even with the millennials, I think we're probably one of the most diverse groups of generations that there is, because the way that history has treated us and all the different fads and all the different factions that there are, we're so diverse in thought and how we get things done. Because Arthur Fort will even show you that he thinks different than most millennials. How BMT showed you he thinks different than most millennials. You can separate us in sectors almost to a certain point. But I do appreciate this panel, and I do appreciate my elders, and I do listen to them. But I think this is a good chance to show our elders that we do have different thoughts and how things work, and that we also have our own mindset, and we're not going to do everything the same way that y'all did it or the way that y'all want it. And we do have our strength, that we're not lazy, and we actually are clever and do have some strategies on how we want to tackle life. But I thank you for having me on, Art, and you the OG. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate y'all for coming through, and I think I'm trying to do my job. I think this is my job, to be honest, y'all. You know, people try to get this. Well, I don't old enough. No, this is our job, man. So, and I hope that I hope great success for everybody that's younger or even older. So, and there's too many people to thank in the chat. That's how good of a support that I got from everyone. And shout out to Mr. Fantastic as well. He sent me a Cash App. So, I mean, we just got some good people in Black YouTube, man. So I appreciate everybody for coming through. So don't forget, I put a link. I put it again for Prophet of Thoughts channel. Head on over there. You know, tell them who sent you. No, I'm joking. I guess you know who's in the picture. Somebody thought it was Nipsey Hussle. I was like,
Hey, I thought it was when I seen the beard. I'm like, okay, it's Nipsey. I'm like, oh no, that's a
so I thought this would be like a millennial thing, you know. So hey, it is what it is. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not apologize, especially this year. So last year I had to hide, but this time I come out with my shirts. So anyhow,
right.
So I see y'all in the next panel and the next chat or what have you. I appreciate everybody for coming through. So I'm gonna try to do the all generation panel.
Let me get to this damn job. Art got me down late and shit.
Well, now all you gotta do is push play. This is live.
Right.
And what's his name? Okay, 7 projects that helped me get 100 subs. Please support 7 Project. I'm gonna have him come through also because he has some good wisdom. As he's a millennial, right, y'all? Yeah, he's pretty young.
Yeah, he's a millennial. Yeah, he's 25.
Yeah, so we need to push these brothers out in the forefront. Please, we need to push them out. You know, that's why I had to ask those questions about, you know, how'd you feel about these things being said or whatever. So, and that was good that you guys are, you know, being honest and really putting that stuff out. And a shout out to RJ, Mr. Fantastic, Jason, known as the Dragon Slayer from the movie Rise. You know, of course, we got Arthur Ford and Smitty here. Thank you guys for coming through and really representing BMT, like always. And everybody, I see y'all in the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and hear this sister throw some wisdom down.
Yes, sir.
Y'all be good and y'all be safe and peace.
Peace.